to begin with, let's get straight into battle number 1. We're going to break down, no further ado. Jem, how did you feel your clash with Koji?
Yeah, no, I'm gassed. I was happy. I feel like that was the best Koji anyone's probably ever seen. So I was happy for Koji. I'm mad happy for Koji. I feel like I got the first 2 rounds. My third round was but yeah, no, I'm gassed. I watched it back on camera. I think, obviously, in the second round, you got the big moment for the fake choke thing,
which is dangerous as fuck.
Yeah.
It don't win no points for me, personally, because I didn't play into it. And I don't want him to choke. Like, I don't want him to choke. So, but I prefer my second round. I don't know, I love my second round.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know, I think I won that.
But so what round do you think you lost, your third?
Yeah, but I don't care about my third round.
I think the fans do though.
Yeah, but at least it was better than my last third round, so we're getting it.
Slowly but surely. You just bank on the first and second, then throw away the third.
A little bit.
Yeah, is that actually the deal?
What, with this one?
Yeah, bank on the first and second and throw away the third. That is what happened with both.
Yeah.
Yeah, usually just bank on the first and second. Like, I said to him, I was like, one of my rounds, I want you, like, we'll get one round. And you got one round.
So what's everyone saying about quotables from that starting with reverse? What's everyone saying? Favourite bars from both?
Yeah, well, the biggest moment for Koji was obviously the fake choke thing. Not really a quotable, but he actually sold that so well, right? Like, so I was judging that battle, and when he choked, I was writing in my judge's notes, Koji choked, Jem round 2. He sold it so well that I had to delete my notes when he did that punchline. So yeah, that was probably the highlight for Koji. In terms of Jem's material, you had a whole pattern in your first round, like the Lenny Kravitz leather jackets, the Bond mega at this. That whole thing was just nutty to me. I preferred your kind of like style of rapping over Koji's, but still I gave it to Koji just because I felt as we were saying, like I felt the first 2 were pretty close, but the third was clear to Koji, and to me that swayed the battle.
Cool with that. Makes perfect sense.
But you still feel like you got the first 2?
Yeah, but I can get why anyone gives it to Koji. They're not like miles apart. Like, I like myself. Like what he said, I like, even when I'm watching it back, I prefer how I'm rapping. Quotables, like, I feel like I have more actual quotable lines as well. I remember his choke, the Pokemon thing.
That banger, let's talk about that.
Yeah, that was.
Let's actually talk about that. The Pokemon bar.
That was crazy.
You fucked with that one. There was a few of his bars.
I thought it was cool. No, but I fuck with everything. Like, I like everything. I'm not in a battle that mad about shit. Like, you can see me. I'm having fun. Like, I'm genuinely just having fun.
Yeah, that was the thing with the fake choke. Like, your face didn't actually light up. You were telling everyone to shut up and let him, regroup.
I fell for it. I definitely.
Oh yeah, bro. I was angry. I was like,
did all of us fall
dick,
for it
bro.
apart from Jem?
I didn't fall for it.
Did you know he was faking it? Yeah.
I didn't know he was faking it, but I wasn't happy. Like,
Yeah.
Up. I was like, come on, let's go, Koji. I was like, come on, let's go.
Bro,
I was like, this is
no,
because Rick was tweeted like a whole breakdown of the thing, like, and he was like, Koji fake chokes, Gemini mothers, classic. And then he comes back and I was like, yeah, that didn't happen. I was like, it sounds better that way, but I was like, no, I was like, come on, Koji, this is a classic.
Yeah.
Well,
my brethren that I was with literally tapped me and said he's not choking.
Oh
He
really?
literally tapped me and said he's not choking. He's not choking.
I thought he wasn't choking.
I said, bro, you must. He said he's choking. I said, no, he's choking. He said he's not choking. And he went, look how his face is up. He said, I told you. And I was like, oh, you
I thought he weren't
kidding
choking
me.
at first, and then he dragged it a bit long.
And
So
dropped
like,
the water,
he
yeah.
wasn't choking.
I didn't clock until I watched it back that he just says face lit up twice. Like I didn't
Yeah.
even realize that he said like you'll get your face lit up, and then he chokes. And
Oh,
it's like,
really?
Yeah, and then he's like you'll something get your face lit up, and then he does the fake choke, and then he's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh, did you see how his face lit up? Like, oh, it was
Yeah,
like,
that's the thing. I didn't even hear the connector line either.
Yeah.
I was just like, he's choking.
But round for round, what I wrote down as my favorite from round 1 from you was the Timberland scheme.
But you man heard that. Like,
Yeah.
That's one of the only things I kept.
That was the only bar I'd heard before the battle.
But yeah, no, regardless of whether I heard it before or not, Timberland scheme was one of my favorites, 100%. But what I liked from his first was the talking about you being fashionable and then saying, I don't give a fuck about fashion, but I can put you on a drip. Like,
I hate that. Like,
did you hate that?
I've heard like it's not like.
Oh, it's just like a rap bar.
That's just it's a normal. I think I've got on a tune right now a bar like that. I've got a tune on a bar. It's not even like the same thing.
Is it you dissing Koji over like Stan or
it's
something?
Like, It's a whole
I didn't
different
fuck with that
tune,
bar,
was it?
bro.
It's just,
But sometimes it's not the bar, right? It's how it's sold.
ain't no shit.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
sometimes a bar can be so simple, but you sell it. Because he sold it with attitude,
he
bro.
sold it good,
Like, I'll
bro.
put you on a drip. And I was like, okay.
Yeah, I don't give
If you had
fuck
said it
about-
like all calm and shit, it would have just
I
sounded
think
good.
Yeah.
Yizzy got a line like that on one tune we got. Like, I think drip and fashion lines have been done. Like,
Sure.
any sort of fashion drip.
Yeah, I think, but he did apply it to the battle setting.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I don't know why you lot keep talking about where I just.
I got the best drip.
Yeah,
line there.
what
I
was
got the
that like?
best drip line there.
Sleeping on a mattress and waking up and putting on your Gucci belt. I liked that angle.
But
I thought that
that's
was a
similar
good
to what
angle.
Jem's saying about things being on a track. Like, as much as I like that bar, that's just the kind of thing you do read on Twitter.
Right?
Do you know
Yeah,
what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah.
But there's a lot of things that get said. This ain't a diss on Koj, but there's a lot of things that get said in battles now, which are just like they are just rehashes of things people are saying about the world. Do you know what I mean? So I like that bar, but I didn't put it down as a quotable because I was like,
Yeah, yeah.
this idea of like you're broken every part of your life, but you got to agree to about it. I've heard that before.
I hear
Do you know
that,
what I'm
I hear
saying?
that.
But I did like the drip. I think I know what you mean. Maybe he's not the one that came up with the idea, but again, all we talked about last month was shit was effective. I think it was so effective to put that in his first round. Like, I could put you on a drip, bang. Everyone in the crowd was fucking with him, man.
Yeah, no, he did sick. Like,
And he caught on the Timberland scheme late. He caught on it late, but you see in his face when he got it, he was like, oh, okay.
I should have brought it back.
Yeah.
I should've
That was your
started
closer though, wasn't it?
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what we saying, Scoop and Viz, top moments from the battle.
You know what my favourite personal bar is? And obviously, I'm Team Knights, and so I heard it before. It's just a bar that I love,
Yeah, I know
innit?
what you're gonna say.
Is when man said I'm like Houdini because I made a living
Yeah.
cutting up boxes and running through tracks.
You just
Yeah,
said that because
that
Scoop
was
could say it.
Please, that was nuts.
You could
Yeah, I'm
just
not gonna
see-
lie. I could see myself
Alright,
saying that.
forgot
You know,
that.
I could. You know what it was? I was like, this guy,
That
bro.
is not a coincidence that that's
That
the
is
bar
a-
you like.
Literally, I said, oh, this is so hard. I had to
You
voice
told
it.
me
But
that from early though.
yeah, bro, that bar's cold, bro. Bar's so fire. That was one of my favorite moments, man.
That was her.
Yeah, I liked I think your biggest reaction might have been the Liz Truss bar. That was one of my favorites because it was just like it was a what you call it. It was like a topical reference, but it was just so easy to understand. Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
but that's the thing. I think he had like that's one of my like. You know, my approach is completely different now as well. I'm just rapping.
Well, break it down.
But like I'm just rapping. I didn't have no real angles against Koj. What did I say? What angles did I have? He had a bunch of
Yeah.
them, which were cool. But I feel like it's weird ones. It's like I just want to rap so that I can be happy with all my content. Like I ain't got nothing that no one doesn't really get in that battle. You get near enough everything. All my bars.
I don't like this gem.
Like,
I keep telling him I don't like this gem. I want him to go back to being an arsehole.
Why? What don't you like
I
about
don't,
this
Don't like
like,
this
I
job.
don't have no lines that I look back on. Like, why did I say that shit? That shit's stupid. Like, cool, all these anime lines that people spit, they're great. I don't ever want to, like, I've made mistakes and I look back at certain battles, like, why did I spit that? I could look at this battle and Bobby battle, first 2 rounds, fuck my first. But my first 2 rounds, I'm like, yo, these will look good in 3 years' time.
Right.
Lines about all this other stuff, sometimes it won't bank. Like, these are, you need a crutch, like, cool, that's cool.
Yeah.
My 24 on one rhyme scheme for me will still sound good in 5 years. Like, I'm cool with that.
But almost what I'm saying I rated was the opposite of that. Like a Liz Truss thing is only relevant this year, maybe last year.
Yeah, but it's
possibly
not
next.
about nothing.
Oh, whoa.
I
I
just
I
said
agree.
you'll be in the top 10 this year, you won't be this year. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
My rounds on, but I'm just rapping.
Yeah. But when you're saying about shit being timeless, what makes that timeless and something else not timeless? How do you see it in your head?
That's not timeless.
Okay.
I mean, that will be, I mean, it might not be, it might be, but she'll probably always be the person that was in fucking.
Yeah, it would be jokes if that bar's relevant to someone else. I highly doubt
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
It won't be relevant, but it will, like, I mean, yeah, that probably will be extinct in like 10 years.
Yeah.
People will
But that might be my favourite bar of yours because you knew it was like when you wrote that bar, you were like, hold on a minute, like this is going on.
I didn't know, no.
You didn't know?
No.
You're a liar.
Because it's not, that's
He's-
not,
he's
that's
just
not that
lying.
crazy to me.
You're a liar.
But it's not about
I'll
being
be
crazy.
100%
It's
honest.
about
I don't
dropping
think
something that
that's
people want to
crazy.
hear, innit? Like,
Yeah, I thought that, but I don't think that's
I
crazy.
knew that bar was going to land.
Land.
You'll
Yeah,
be in the
yeah.
10 and out the 10.
I knew the
Nah,
way
but
I
it's
delivered it.
Yeah.
I knew the way I delivered it.
It's not even necessarily like
I added the sh on like the last day as well.
it's not like
But I knew that, like, if I didn't do it's little things, that little sh adds so much to it
yeah.
for no reason.
Like you're saying it's not that crazy in terms of like, you know, maybe the entendre or whatever isn't like the craziest thing you've came up with, but I think a bar like that is likely to go off in the room just because it's so accessible. You know what I mean? There are lots of people there. Whether that's your first event, you know nothing about Kojay, like you say, you're still going to react to that.
Yeah.
I think that's why it went off.
I'm aware that people don't know everything. Like, people might not know who I am or Kojay is and watch about.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
And that's why I like that line.
But that's why most of my content's not about shit.
Yeah,
that's hard
yeah.
to-
The same time, I feel like Kojay was good at sort of explaining it in a sense that someone who could watch it from the outside could really quickly catch on to like what's going on. But
I like Kojay.
then at the same time, you say something like the Inspector Gadget bar, and the whole stage just goes mental as well.
Yeah,
Like-
That's like
yeah.
a bait sort of reference that's been done like a million times, but I was like, oh, what propelled it cap, and that's kind of
Yeah, yeah.
that's kind of fun.
The room loved it.
Yeah, what bars and were your best and worst kind of like from each person?
One that like has been playing over like since it happened. The Kojay was like Mr. Shing Shing, the chick chick, like that. I went
Oh,
fucking
yeah,
People
mad
in
at
battle
that.
rap keep coming up with ways to rhyme chit chat.
I know, bro. I can't even remember what he rhymed it with either.
We've all done it, you know.
I have no idea.
I did the whole. I didn't even do the. We've all done it now, man.
But that
So yeah, you fucked with that.
oh man, it was crazy. And the thing is, like, if you have black tea behind you for any kind of battle, like, it's infectious,
Oh,
bro.
man.
Like that. Anytime you react, he's jumping about the place. It makes you want to do the same. Like,
in the crowd with you, bro.
Oh,
He
man.
will get you
He's
gas.
old.
If you watch him and Jem with Bobby, he's there repeating Jem's lines like that.
You see him bouncing up and down in the background.
Looking like one,
Yeah,
and he
yeah.
look like he's fine. He don't take drugs, but he looks like he's on one.
in the Inspector Gadget, the squatters' rights ones were like one of the ones that like really fucking. That was, bro, so
That
good.
one
Like,
I added recent.
I was glad to be on the stage for it as well because I mean they were fucking with you. There was like the whole your side up on the stage. I don't know who was all there, but they were going, bro. They were going mad. Like
Yeah, no, that's-
Kojay was turning around and telling them to like shut up. He was like, yo, like
Yeah.
stop it.
I
'Cause-
love that in battles when that happens.
Yeah.
When people are like, tell your boys to shut up. And
Yeah,
you're like,
I don't know.
"Fucking know
Yeah.
Bro,
that."
they were sitting there.
You're like, I'm just good at what I'm doing. It's just good. Like, you'll learn one day.
You went first, right? So you finished your second round, and they were shouting 2-0, and Kojay was like, I haven't even fucking spit my second yet.
I know that one got you.
I was like, yeah, let him spit a second, bro.
Also, I shouldn't have opted like Kojay before the battle, obviously, because I missed the last thing. We was in the ring. He's like, what, we flipping a coin, yeah? Kojay dead looks at me when he's doing his little cut thing. And he's like, nah, you're going first. He's like, I'll travel the furthest and you missed the last one. You're going first. I was like, what, you being serious? Yeah? He's like, yeah, I'm being dead serious. I was like,
I rate
"Aight,
that.
you know what, yeah, fuck it,
Yeah.
I got you and I'm out.
Why do you think it
I
benefited
respect
him
that.
going second?
Because he fed off my energy first. And I feel like it took
Not
the
that he was
energy.
good.
It took the energy a minute to kick in. And I started my round with wordy shit. So my round I think would have worked better if it came off his round.
Mm.
Because I start within 8 bars I'm into like a fucking 24 bar multi-scheme.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I think that would have hit better off just the room already hearing bars in the battle.
Right.
But yeah,
So do you feel like if you went second, you might have won?
I did win.
So
What are you talking about?
what are you talking about? There?
All right. Well, okay. There's the flip the question up. Third rounds, obviously. He got to. You said you weren't too happy with third round.
what?
He got to close out. Oh,
Wait, what?
he got to close out on a third round that he'd heavily prepared. Do you think that helped him a lot? Like what you're saying that your third round was the weakest of yours. Your third round was the weakest of yours, and his third round was maybe his strongest reaction wise. Apart
Was
from the
it?
effect check. Yeah, he did all the prison shit. The crowd were loving it.
Oh yeah.
I thought his third was his weakest as well, you know.
Both of their thirds
yeah.
overall might have been their weakest writing wise.
Yeah,
he got
yeah.
a lot
He did,
of
yeah, they loved it,
reaction
yeah.
for the prison shit and this and that. That's what
I
I'm saying.
thought both of you had like the least haymakers in the third, but yeah, for me the third was just
Your third-
the clearest round.
Your third felt like just a load of bars you'd strung together, like that you may have spat on a mixtape in 2019. Or whatever.
You
Yeah.
did that with Shocks as well, you know, bro.
What?
You did that with Shocks as well, bro.
Who?
Yeah. Oh, mad.
When how late do you prep?
Huh?
What's your prep
My
process
problem is no, with this one I restructured all my rounds after the thing.
after the cancellation?
Yeah,
Yeah,
so-
Oh, did you actually like how much?
Yeah.
And why?
I probably rewrote some.
Because you didn't even mention the cancellation. No?
What do you mean? No, why would I?
That's what I'm saying. So why did you restructure?
Boring. I just want to rap. Because I thought of the Lenny Kravitz scheme,
hmm
and that one was like 24 bars, so that would change my first. I sent you my rounds. My rounds are completely different to the ones I spent.
Completely,
Like, literally completely different.
This guy don't talk to this guy about prep. He doesn't know what that is.
My rounds are completely different to the original rounds I had.
Were you tempted to change the opening after Bobby did it against Frankie? The sort of.
No, I see him tweet that today. Like, that was a big thing. I didn't care, bro. He's just doing a fucking Spartan chance, not some original thing. I don't think I started that. Bobby, you shouldn't think you did either. That's not original.
Would you have done it on the same event if it happened at Plug 3?
Yeah,
Or-
I wouldn't have given a fuck.
Just
We're nice.
It's not like we took your slogan. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
We're
yeah,
fucking nice. Like, and his one sounded kind of like a chihuahua as well. He went oof oof. He sounded kind of like a dog. He didn't do it right. None of you like.
Back on topic.
It might be his friends, yeah, because I know everyone likes to be friends, yeah. He didn't do it right. He went, what is your profession? Oof oof. He sounded
I'm
like
more
a
than
dog.
happy with the non-friendship. If we want to go in on people, we can change the topic. But I mean, for this battle though, so you genuinely think you took the first 2 rounds?
Yeah, but I don't like.
But you don't think you got robbed?
No, of course not. Not in a million years.
I like that.
That's dead.
Yeah.
What was your favourite shit you said?
He
and
did,
favourite
like,
shit
bro,
you said?
he had 3 solid rounds. I had 2 solid rounds. So if he wins, he wins.
Okay. What are you gonna say?
Weren't- In the room, he defo got the reactions to win. It's the same with the, like, in a sense with the Shotty battle, like, aside from the fact that Shotty, like, got the judge's decision, in the room, if anyone gave that to Shuffle, no one would say nothing.
Yeah,
It felt like Koj won in the room.
Yeah, in the room.
I'll be real. In
Yeah.
the room, it felt like.
Yeah. So I'm cool with it.
And do you know what? Do you know what was funny? Like, I was with some of your other friends, like your non-battle rap friends, and like how I knew the battle was closer than it was. No, listen, no, hear me out. This just come to my head. I was standing with them in the crowd, yeah, and I see one of them turn to the other, and they go, "What do you think, fam?" And he goes, "It's close."
It was
And I knew, that's when I knew, because you know 100%. When you smacked your first round, obviously, they were gassing, and obviously I was as well, everyone was gassing it, but that's how I knew. I think Jem's lost this, because the way your mate, who's not even a judge or anything, just went, it's close.
I think if I closed out my third, it would have been better.
It was Yizzy's face for me. Because Yizzy doesn't like, Yizzy is stone-faced. Like, you could say the most cold things in the world. Yizzy was standing there like you didn't say shit. But even Yizzy looked at me like, when Cody said that, he was like, he just gave me that nod like, and I was like, oh, okay.
No, he handled business, man. He had good angles. My only criticism of him is during his angles, I feel like sometimes he worded them in a way I didn't like. But that's
Right.
just me.
Yeah,
Sometimes
yeah.
I think he attacked definitely the right topics on you, but sometimes I feel like certain bits I didn't quite understand. He'd stretched it so far, I kind of forgot what he was dissing you about. But the ones where he hit the nail on the head,
Yeah, but I think
so
he had so
fucking
much
well.
like, good momentum that like
Yeah.
those punches in the middle didn't matter. if
And
that
I'm
makes
not,
sense.
personally, I'm not a fan of I'm only saying this bar for me. I know everybody doesn't agree with it, but me personally, I think you're rapping to get a reaction.
Yeah.
Yeah, same. I'm with you on
personally
that.
not a fan of I'm going to say something which I then go on Twitter later and say, I only said that for me. Well, don't say it for you, because what's the point? If you're saying it for you, record an album, bro.
And nine
Agreed.
times- and nine
Agreed.
times out of 10, you're lying.
What do you mean?
It was just trash.
Yeah, the anime shit. And that's a separate point that 9 times out of 10 it's actually because
Also,
it
yeah.
It just didn't
when
bounce.
it didn't pop,
I
supposedly you
can't
wrote
be
it
getting
for-
cool and a nerd here in a
Yeah.
battle with like too many anime and all these bars.
So I didn't fuck with him. I didn't fuck with the anime references. But
no, it was a sick battle, and I'm actually like happy for everyone who's saying like it's a good battle of the year. And all
you
that.
stepped your delivery up. Every battle you
I
stepped your
think my
delivery up.
delivery in this battle
Yeah,
was
yeah.
down.
No,
Compared to
I
the
disagree.
Bobby.
No, I
No,
disagree.
Really?
That first round,
Yeah,
you see that first round?
Because delivery's not shouting, it's about composure, and your composure,
I was
for me, your
literally gonna
composure
say
was on
this. This was
point.
one of my things. I was less composed for this battle than Bobby.
No, I was
I
saying-
can tell.
I'll tell you
You
what
lot
I think.
can't, but I
No,
can.
I'll tell you what you think it is. You see
No,
what
it's
Bobby,
because I've mixed my shit around so much
you see what Bobby,
that remembering.
you see
it
what
was
Bobby,
good.
you did a lot of to the camera, to the crowd, to this. So you think your performance, you see with this battle, you was on him. Because certain battles require performance. This is not one of them battles. This is
I think all of
two
them did.
punch heavy guys going at each other. We don't give a shit about you. No, you was on him from the jump. I was like, raw, Jim's right in his face, you know. Shit.
Bro, even
I
like
think I should have been more on him. I can't lie.
You would have been at the back of the
I
room.
think, personally, you're always going to be your biggest critic. I personally think when I
was
watched
sick.
it, I was there
Yeah.
live, I just wanted to hear the bars. Watching it this morning, watching it back, I was like, he might not be as aggy as he was against Bobby, but I think that you're never going to agree with this, but I'm saying from a fan point of view, I was like, the level of delivery is in the boundaries of what I like.
Yeah.
You were getting in his grill, but then some bits you were being cheeky and not. But he had the same shit. I think he killed it because he was in your grill for some other bits, and then certain bits he played the field a little bit. Do you know what I mean? Danced about, did his thing. Like he was crazy, bro. I can't hate. Like I like almost everything. Excuse me, almost everything he said. I think he genuinely.
He
I
had-
think
he had
we
hard
talked
times.
about.
You don't
No,
have
we
no
talked
weak
when we analysed you and
give him
Bobby.
that.
We said we broke down clearly with you and Bobby the moments where Bobby dipped
Yeah,
too
no, he
much.
didn't have no weak moments.
Koj, you said the word momentum. His momentum was just up.
Yeah,
It
he
was
was-
higher,
he
battle.
didn't
up,
drop
That's
up,
it.
up,
I
up,
think he
up,
was
up
just
the momentum.
consistent
Yeah.
throughout.
Hardly any dry spots in any of his rounds.
Yeah, and
That's
that's
what she
why
But
that's why I edged it
To
to him
get
in the
there
end.
before
You can say it with chest, you know.
No, just no. Like it was.
Reverse is about to say something negative.
No.
Off cam, I'm scrapping both these men.
Yeah,
These
yeah.
men were judges. Both
Yes,
these
they
men.
are.
That's it, yeah,
Oh,
yeah, we
okay.
both
I
were.
did not
But that's the
realise
thing,
that.
bro. In judging it, like you finished the first round, and I was ready to give you it because I was
Yeah,
like, I've seen the
literally
best
same.
Koj, and I don't think it's topping it. And then I was like, fuck. I was like, all right.
Hold on, you man judged, yeah?
Yeah.
Right, say no more.
Yeah, bro. Next match day. No, but I actually, I gave Koj the first and third, and thought even though the moment, like one of my favorite moment from Koj was the fake choke. I don't like you said, it wasn't enough to sort of, win a round off
No,
of it.
yeah, I think it was sick, but when I've watched my second back, I think I like my second the most.
Fire round.
And it's the something blue for me.
It just,
Yeah.
everything, you
I
just
don't
went in,
know.
bro. Like you just went in there.
I don't
I personally think just because of the Timberland scheme, your first round might be better. But I know the Conor J Murphy scheme was in your second, right? Was that your second round?
Yeah,
And that was
name
insane.
flip scheme.
Mm.
I think it was Black Tea.
And you didn't know how that was gonna go off, innit?
Yeah, and I wrote that the week of.
Yeah,
Oh,
he said,
yeah,
he
yeah.
said to me, he said, I don't know if it's gonna work, you know. I said, this is
Who knows this? I wrote that. That's what I'm saying. A lot of my material was, and that's why obviously I say I know I wasn't as composed because you see me, I was practicing my rounds still a bit. Like, so I'm like, I need to make sure because even that scheme, it's not like my natural style of writing. So I'm like, I need to get this part right.
Yeah.
That was the main
Right.
part I wanted to get right. That scheme.
that whole thing was mad.
Well, the two times I've seen you in the room were Bobby and this one, and I personally preferred this performance by far. I actually thought your material for this was better than your material for Bobby as well. But yeah,
For judging, you gave it 1 and 3 as well.
know what you
I
did.
didn't even go like.
He gave the,
I didn't even go round by round like that. Like I had, so my processor was you spat your first, and I thought chances are you're winning that. Like I don't think Koj beats that, especially because the momentum was crazy. Like
Yeah.
I was standing between Black Tea and Tech, right? So the two people shouting the loudest in the crowd were either side of me.
Worse, bro.
And I was like, yeah, there's no way he's coming back. And he came back and he leveled it. And I had in my notes, I wrote down the bars I thought, and I had it even. I thought if I need to judge it, then I'll come back and read the bars again. Then the second round happened, and again, it was just like really hard to call. I was thinking I would probably edge it to you, but I wasn't actually going to confirm that's Gemini's round yet. And then the third happened, and the third was clear to Koj. And because I felt your third was probably the weakest of the battle, and on that basis, I gave it to Koj. So it wasn't even like a 2-1, 3-0 round by round thing. It was just on as an aggregate of
It
the
does always
battle.
help when you come in as the
and
underdog.
Rivers
He came
was
in
the
as the
third
underdog.
Yeah.
judge, and I know Rivers gave me the first round.
Okay.
Right.
The first round was the tightest, I think. Like the
Yeah.
first round was
So that's-
fucking razor thin.
That's the most interesting.
I think his first round was more about you, but you were more creative in the first round. Like I said, not to keep bringing it back to the Timberland scheme, but the Timberland scheme is not personally about
Such a
Koj.
sick closer.
But,
Yeah.
But bro, look at when you see like the oldest people in the room got it first, and it was like by age going down. So like there was probably a couple 18-year-olds that got it at 7 p.m. Like, oh, that guy. Yeah. But that's, you feel me, like, but obviously when that might be the only bit of yours I heard before, and I was like, I remember gassing you up, being like, yeah, I like that a lot. That's so creative. But then I think moving forward, I think you had the Liz Truss bar just banged, whether you like it or not, it banged in a second. But he just with the fake choke, I think he had the
What
evolved
bars?
poke. Huh?
What bars?
There you go. Let me finish. The evolve into in me, it's so simple.
That was funny.
But
Yeah,
you know
yeah.
what you said? You said last month. You said you love bars that only one person can say.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
the first
yeah,
thing I
yeah.
thought of when
So
Koj
true.
says that. There's probably what other battlers could say that to you apart from Tony D? Maybe like what Danny
So
Jack can't
true.
say to you. Like who else can say it?
Although,
So when I watched that, him being able to look at you and be like, I'm basically a bigger version of you. I was like, that's what I had in my head.
now you mention it though,
Only he
about
could have said
only
that.
he could have
Also-
said that to Jem. I'm pretty sure I didn't even think of it until you literally just said that. I'm pretty sure Shuffle had a bar against Kraft where he said, "I'm the Pokemon you evolve into," as well.
There we go. Bitten. Cancel. No points.
I take
No
everything
Yeah.
back.
I'm done.
I demand a
Listen,
recount.
Judges, hey, recount.
Yeah.
Yeah. You did. You say your third was kind of trash, but you did in your third say, believing that the planet's flat won't make your hairline magic back.
That was crazy.
Hey, you just, hey,
I had to get that.
his
in.
pre-battle was great though.
Oh,
Yeah,
do you
the
think that? Do you think that was pretty?
You said I was bold. I didn't say he was bold, so it was definitely a pre-battle.
Yeah.
That you win by a single hair thing. Yeah, he had that. In the
No, that was a. No, he said you lose
Oh,
by hair. That was his. That
yeah,
was a
that
pre-battle.
was the flip
I thought
to
that was
the-
a flip.
No, that was an
I thought
actual
that was.
flip.
Yeah.
I thought that was free.
No, that was after the. You said the. Yeah. So it was after you said the flat
Gemini's
Earth
brain
thing.
is protecting his ego, man. Like, that wasn't a pre-battle. It was
Yeah. To me, that seemed like a flip.
It was
I
a
think-
rebuttal. You said it in the third, right?
Yeah.
It was a rebuttal.
I
Yeah.
didn't call him bold. I said it won't make your hairline magic back.
Yeah, yeah.
But he is bold.
But he is bold. You know what I
I didn't
mean?
call him bold.
He's projecting.
Ironically, we're
Wow.
splitting hairs right now. Bro. Talking about this.
Gemini's
Hey,
got
bro,
the
I'm a
technicalities out.
power
You
rapper.
man today, you know.
This is how you know a guy lost.
Yeah.
This is how you know a guy
Yeah.
lost.
Yeah.
We start chatting about pre-battles and pre-battles.
Hey,
I've never seen Gem on the ropes like this.
I had a pre-battle. Hey, bro, don't do this. Hey, we know. Hey, me and Koji send each other lines. So not like that. I
Gem
asked
is
him for
on the
one
ropes
liner.
today, boy.
When we was getting ready, I was like, he was like, "Are you ready?" I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "What have you got?" And I just like, he was like, "Oh, I said, what have you got?" One of the two of us, and I just said it in one line. It was one of my shitty lines in the third. And then he sent me one line, just a bar, like one like this. And I try to write a pre-battle, but he said it against Raptor.
Okay. But yeah, I mean, I think that's it. I think so. You're pretty happy with your performance. Obviously, you would have rather won, but you lost, and you're not like absolutely screwing about it.
No, I'm cool. On to the next battle. Like,
So going around, just to wrap it up, what's your favorite and least favorite moments from it, from both of you, just in general?
no least favorites. Like, no low moments. Probably my third. No low moments from Koji. I'm not gonna like.
That's
everything.
respect, man. I rate that, man.
Yeah, I'm not gonna like everything. Like, I can laugh at it. Like, I'm not going to. It's the same thing like we said earlier. Like, you don't necessarily like 100 things.
Yeah,
that
yeah,
Joe
yeah.
does or says.
Oh, we'll talk about that.
So there's gonna be bars. That I'm
Visual
like,
is the face king from Saturday.
that's why I'm laughing and I'm like having fun in a ring. Like, you can see. When I see a bar I like, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
There's a certain content where it's like, for me, I feel like bars are just bars for the sake of bars.
Okay.
Where
I liked everything apart from the crutches. I just didn't think it was needed.
Very predictable.
Yeah, I didn't
Very
think it was needed. It was like, we know you weren't on crutches coming in the event, and we knew it was just going to be a set. As soon as he saw your cut, I said, it's going to be a setup for what he's going to say going into his first. And it wasn't. I just thought, you didn't need it. The rest of your round was fire. You didn't need that.
yeah, but he had to replace material from the bit he dropped in the Raptor battle. Anyway.
That's fair enough.
He didn't mean to drop the shit in the Raptor battle. In his third, he goes into a different bag. And it was the bag he was meant for me. Like, so yeah.
Oh, really? What he spat?
Yeah.
I thought he
Yeah.
spat some of the Raptor bars he choked against you, but he spat. What he
Nah,
spat?
his third when he goes into the pummeling and putting him AI. All
Oh,
that shit, that whole segment until the end. Even
that was written for
he
you.
said London doctor's gonna have to work on your head.
Yeah, I didn't even.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I didn't even
he
think
said,
about
like,
that.
It was
Yeah,
fire
yeah,
a little
yeah.
bit, and you can tell because he knows that, like the back of his hand.
Mm.
Right. Yeah.
He
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
ready for that. Like,
Yeah, from
My,
my point.
favorite moment for myself is still something blue.
Yeah. You like that? Yeah.
Yeah.
Popped. It popped.
I was
Because you knew the
nervous
crowd
about
would say that with you.
I
as well.
wrote that
You knew the
last
crowd
minute
would.
as well. So
Yeah.
no, I didn't. Like I was.
No, really?
Yeah, because I don't know. It's a risky line. You don't know what's gonna
Something
happen.
borrowed, something old. Everyone knows you're gonna say blue. Come on, man.
Yeah, but you don't know if it's gonna be good.
Fair enough.
Like with them weird lines, you don't really know. Like they're
Mhm.
like literally performance based sort of line.
But yeah, top moments from me. I think just you seeing, because I'm not a fan of scheming, so seeing you execute the scheme,
I hate scheming.
I hate it as well. But seeing you execute the scheme was good.
That was one of my risky parts as well.
From Koj in general, just seeing him seeing him find some shit to say to you, man. Because like I said, when Bobby clashed you, we kind of felt that he didn't say too much stuff personal about you. So I like just in general.
Oh, that Bobby attacked me great.
No, I was saying when we were talking about it, I was saying, you know, I didn't feel like Bobby attacked you too personally. So it was nice. I did enjoy seeing Kojay actually like say some shit that was a little bit, just felt a bit fresh. Even though maybe the angles we'd heard before, I feel like he flipped it in a nice way. He had everybody's attention. The first thing I said to him when the battle stopped, I literally dapped him up and I went, bro, I'm going to be totally honest. I was stone-faced for about 8 bars. Is what I said to him. I was stone-faced for the first 8 bars, trying my hardest. But then I was like, if I didn't react after your first 8 going forward, I'm a hater. And he was laughing. He was like, fair enough.
I think I like his bars more than the angles, because the angles.
Yeah,
just
in general, he did his thing. He did his thing.
That thing you said?
Yeah, he had mad quotables. And that's a great example of what I'm saying, that he took an angle of what's been said to Jem before. You're not to going out your comfort zone, but he flipped it. Let's be creative. Let's not just say you're a pussy. Let's say something funny. Worst moments for me would be just in general the anime moments. Again, the anime moments that you're pretty certain no one was going to get, or maybe Scoop's right, he did think people might get them. In general, I didn't like the obscure anime bars. Really wasn't a fan of them whatsoever. I think it kind of took some of the momentum away when you're getting laugh, and then nothing.
Yeah.
I don't think
Tony
D
B tweeted this morning.
Tony Versace, it's a rock. Like he rapped it good with he rapped it in a nice cadence.
Yeah, but I still think it fucked the momentum up because he was getting big reactions and then it went.
I don't know what Omni Man is like. He said
I don't know what Banshees. I've never seen that. I don't know what that was. So I wasn't a fan of that. And then from you, I just say in general, your third, even though you didn't say anything that I would think is whack, I just think your third, you could tell it was very just pieced together of shit that you were like, well, I need to, in theory, have a third round, so let me bang this in.
In theory, you need to have a third round.
You do it. In theory, when you sign up to a rap battle that you're meant to write and be paid for, you should have a third round. You might not like your delivery, but I feel like your delivery was up there. Really enjoyed it. He's never really had a delivery problem, to be fair. He might have had a memorization problem, but he's never really had a delivery problem. His was up there.
His breath control was on point.
Yeah,
he sorted it out.
But yeah, so then to wrap it up, you two, same thing. Top moments, worst moments. Let us know.
Yeah, top moments. I know you were saying you didn't really angle much this battle, and you're right. It was mostly rapping, but you had a bit in your first. I don't remember the bars exactly, but basically talking about how can you rep the brand if you don't, like, if you're coming to events under prepped and all of that. And you had a bar like
PB raised the bar, set the standard.
Yeah.
But that's like,
that was all on that same rhyme scheme as well, so it was still rapping, obviously. But to me, that really hit. That whole bit in your first was it. And for me, for Kojay, I'm not even going to pick a single moment, to be fair, because I felt he was consistent throughout the battle. But I'd just say, so I'd never heard of Kojay until, 2 years ago, right? And so I saw him in the room before I'd ever seen him on YouTube or anything. And I saw him against Georgie Roots, and he absolutely destroyed him in the room, right? Loud, breath control, everything. And every time since then, I've wanted to see that Kojay, and there have been stumbles, and I've come to events really looking forward to seeing Kojay, and he's never lived up to it since that first time I saw him. And then, Saturday, I just felt that was the best performance I've seen of him by far.
Like what we said, the underdog effect. Even though he's been doing his thing, he was the underdog. And when you were watching it live, it was like, shit, he's actually holding his own.
You think with the fake choke, if he hasn't choked his past however many battles, that doesn't go down as well, you know?
People can do a fake choke and it's fine, but when Kojay does it, it's gonna hit harder because he fucking chokes all the time.
I think it was his moment as well. It's the same like I said about Shuffle and Shotty. I think it was Shuffle's moment.
Yeah.
So you can't really be mad at nothing that happens in that situation.
Yeah, man. So Viz, wrap it up. Best and worst moments.
I'd say Kojay's first. I don't know what. I love when Kojay just drops bars that aren't even related to the angle. Like, he turned around randomly and was like, "I'll let the gun do the talking, high on life," and I love shit like that. And it's a game where the gun just talks, and I was just like, you know what I mean? But it's like fucking, it's recent as well. So I was like, wow. But he just does crazy shit like that. But yeah, I'd say your second round might be probably round of the battle. But it was it was mad. I think it's that and Shotty Shuffle. I can't see any battle this year sort of coming close to that. I think it's going to be a fucking argument for battle of the year.
Yeah, man.
And it could go either way.
All right, man. Well, that's it. You can check out on the Premier Battles Patreon. Big up, Jem. Clap it up again. Let's go.
Nice. Thank you, boys.
Don't Flop Podcast, we're back. Room change, as always. You're used to that shit by now. We're going to get into Visual versus Moke. It was a very dope battle, man. Clap it up for them too. All right, Viz on the right as you were in the clash. Kick it off, man. What did you? Let's just start it with some general feelings, man. What did you think about the battle? Obviously, there's a lot of animosity leading up to it.
Yeah.
So
bro.
yeah, let us know.
Yeah, that's probably like the most I was sort of like actually really wanting to beat someone, not just win, but I wanted to like beat him in the battle, and I was like leading up to it.
I'm sorry.
There's not even a minute in.
I just wanted to beat.
I just wanted to.
Right.
rubbing your hands.
Oh, it's done.
Anyway, I wanted to win it, and yeah, it was fucking like because he was one that I was always mentioned in the same breath as like, you know, top of the class and all that, and so I wanted to sort of settle the debate like I did with Georgie the last year. So yeah, I was confident that I would win, and it kind of went exactly how I expected it to. He did like a little giggle at the start of his first, and when he did that, and before Trubs was like, yo, he's gonna say something that's really gonna piss you off, and then he did a giggle, I was like, fuck. I was like, he's gonna come out with some mad shit here. But it wasn't really, you know, it wasn't anything I wasn't really expecting.
Wait, hold on. What do you mean he did a giggle?
Bro, if you
I did not expect to hear that word today.
Yeah, bro, if you watch the battle, at the start of it, he goes, and I'm like, alright.
Wait, hold on, you saying that was in his bars?
Bro, I'm not saying it was in his bars, but he did it at the start of his round. It was like round one on Moke, and then I was like, alright, okay.
But I thought you said
I'm making him
You know
sound
why?
like a
You know why?
Bonzo.
Yeah,
Do
bro,
you know why? Because for this battle, yeah, these two been going at each other for weeks, innit?
Yeah.
And there was a lot of built-up tension, and Moke likes winding people up in it, so I could see visual just on Smoke from the minute they said the battle was announced. So when Moke was like, you think, what the fuck's this guy gonna say now?
Yeah, because Trubs turned around, Trubs was like, yo, bro, he's really gonna piss you off here. Like, he's really gonna piss you off. Turns out he was talking about, like, my dad, me not being about battle.
Oh, I
but-
thought you meant he told. He told Trubs like, "Yo, watch out for the giggle, fam." That's what I was like. What do you mean,
No,
Trubs told you?
was
I
like-
thought you meant he practiced the giggle.
No, it was
and
both
Trubs was
them
like,
lads were
"Yo,
like-
listen,
They were like hyping it up as in, like, yo, I'm
the
about
giggle
to
was
let's
pretty
keep it
ready.
lyrical, yeah. But
Yeah.
I'm telling you in advance, so there's no scrapping. He's gonna do a giggle."
giggle, bro.
Done.
Yeah,
That was
so
a
they
pre-giggle.
built it up like he was gonna sort of like deconstruct me and like fucking attack me personally, and I was just like, it's nothing no one really hasn't said before. Like,
I don't think he did too much, if I'm honest. As in, I think he just kind of did what a battle is normally. Just, he just did a battle, like he battled you.
yeah, like I didn't think anything was said that was
But
like.
people say this about every battle. Every battle, someone who hears, or you hear someone like Scooby who shows everybody his rounds. Somebody will have seen some of his bars and be like, "Yo, like, Ox got a problem." Like anyone who hears anyone's rounds and they're not whack will say to the guy they're battling,
Yeah.
"You got a problem on your hands." You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
Yeah, so I mean, yeah, like I was like expecting to, you know, hit a lot of it. And I was expecting to just sort of like shake my head and be like, this doesn't make sense. And
oh,
I
we're
did
gonna
it
get to
for-
that. We're gonna get to that.
Oh yeah.
We're gonna get to that.
Yeah, so mainly I was focusing on just not forgetting my shit because I was a little bit like shaky on my first and second because the third was the one that I sort of like I was most sort of passionate about writing. So the first and second I was just like. Just beat him, like, oh, for fuck's sake.
He passionately beat him. The first round.
Made love, yeah?
He flew all the way from
All the
Ireland
way,
to
bro.
passionately beat a man in front of a load of other men. Damn.
Sensational.
Yeah, anyway.
Two cameras as well.
I approached the first and second like Jem does his thirds. And yeah, it was enough anyway.
It's fucked up.
I don't take that bad. He said 2 rounds, bro. Fucking hell. At least I don't go for 1, man.
So, yeah. So where did the animosity come from? Because I definitely felt like there was a little bit more than your standard build-up in a battle.
Yeah, do you know what it was? It's like on Twitter, like I've been seeing Moke for the past like 2 years, and I always just thought he was like salty. I always just thought he was like a bitter person on Twitter. Like if anyone said anything against him, like Art kind of touched on it with the YouTube comments thing. Like if anyone says anything, he'll be right under there like fucking 3 seconds later to argue on YouTube.
Oh, was
or
he
something
one of
like that.
those?
Like on
Yeah,
Twitter, like he'll
that drives me insane.
yeah, so he'll even after the battle, someone was like, Moke got robbed, and he would like share it with like the emoji with no mouth, kind of like, I'm like, bro, like just, it's over now, like leave it in the past. But yeah, he was kind of like, that always kind of wound me up. And then that part with watching the battles and just him not being my type of battler, I was like, so then people were like, oh yo, like Moke's top of the class, Moke's top of this. I was like, oh, like it wasn't even one I wanted to do. I wanted to do the Georgie battle because I could see like the appeal on, like I liked his sort of style, but yeah, I never really clicked with Moke personally. But bro, a lot of people loved him in the room. He got a lot more reaction than I did, so you know, like people loved it. It was sick. So good battle.
Do you think you were gonna win when they announced the winner?
Yeah, Moke was like, "Yo, you look surprised when I announced it," but I was like, I wasn't really, because I know if I'm winning a battle, like by how relaxed I am by the third round, and I was just like, yeah, I didn't feel under pressure. I was like, this is fine.
Did you giggle back after the judge's decision?
Bro, I giggled after he giggled. Like, he giggled. I was like, and
I
was
mean,
just like,
most men when they're passionately beating each other do giggle a little bit because it's hard not to, bro.
Passionately.
So done with you know, bro. So done with
But yeah,
just had
but
to do that, innit?
so I felt obviously when we talked about the you and Quill thing, our main criticism. Our main criticism with the Quill battle was that you did a few too many things. I'm not gonna say actually because it was my point. My point was really with the Quill one. I felt like you had too many things that didn't connect. But this one, like every single one was hitting. Do you know what I mean? From round one, the one I remember from your round one, the reason I'm saying this is when you said I've been biting, but now I got lockjaw, I ain't letting it go. Do you know what I mean? Like that, that's the kind of
that
shit
was
I want to
cold.
see. Do you know what I mean? Where it's not just like you said I've been biting,
Crazy.
so something about teeth, something bullshit that makes no sense. That got a big pop out of me, big pop out of everyone, because it was, again, I get it, you're trying to make it your style, innit? You're trying to make your style this thing where you take some different phrases and you interconnect them and you make it about
Idioms.
the person. But yeah, you take the little idioms here and there. But as I said about the last one, sometimes the idioms for me ain't hitting.
Yeah.
But that one from round one, I was like, okay, nah, he's fully stepped it up for
Yeah,
this one.
yeah.
Because the way you delivered it as well, like I got lockjaw now because I ain't letting it go. It was like bang, I'm listening now.
I think I like your style because you're just direct. It's not really much.
Did he say you've been biting?
oh yeah, his first like promo video was like clips of me rapping.
Oh, it was,
and then
yeah,
clips
it
of
was,
him
it
rapping,
was.
being like him saying like a shittier version of the bar, and I was like, all right, like I didn't watch his battles. Like you said outside, if you don't like fuck with someone, if you don't really like them, you're not going to check their battles out.
No,
But I did. Like I've seen a couple Mook battles, and I was like, it's not really my thing. Like people can enjoy it. That's
So
fine.
what when you say it's not really a thing, what do you mean?
I don't like bars that don't make sense.
Right.
Like, and I just feel like he had too many of them. And bro, like I'm just like lovely guy,
Could
lovely
you
guy.
explain that?
Yeah.
Just because
Yeah.
I want to laugh. I like Moke, but it sounds
All right,
funny.
so
I wanna it made me laugh.
different story, but the same visual, like Bandersnatch. It's not the same visual.
And
Literally
the whole
a
point-
different thing.
yeah.
Every single time you click on a thing, you get a different scene. It's not the same visual.
So he
Like,
he
I've
actually
never seen
could have
this, like,
flipped
I don't
it
know what that
in.
means.
It probably
No,
could have made
oh,
sense at some
If
point.
he even said
if
like
he worked on
different
it.
visual, I keep getting there's
Yeah.
a way you could have flipped it.
Yeah.
I don't really know what that
Like he
It's
had
a
a
Black Mirror thing,
setup yesterday, like just talking about Moke bars that don't make sense. Like I think a lot of his writing is really poor, if I'm being
Right.
totally honest. Like
Right.
he had a setup yesterday, like they said, me and Viz is a close match. I wouldn't buy that spliff. Like what?
You're joking.
I swear, I promise.
This is your man.
Dude.
Yeah? I'm like,
I'm not,
He
I'm
said-
not trying to be.
he
I'm
said
not
I
trying to
wouldn't
be
buy that
like,
split.
Like it's over now. The
He
battle's
said-
over.
Literally,
But
even if he said I wouldn't buy that shit, I
Yeah.
wouldn't buy that whatever.
Yeah.
But he literally said I wouldn't buy that spliff.
Okay.
Firstly,
I'm trying to run that through my head now. I'm
It's-
getting.
but no, honestly,
Shit
there's a
like
lot
that.
of it like this. He said something about it makes me want to blow my brains out, causing bloodshed and anger. But how are you angry if you've just blown your brains out?
Are you battling Moke next or something, bro? I'm
dude.
getting big battle lead up vibes. bro.
Honestly, no, it's just something that like I really liked that basically Viz's promo run because I felt that Moke, and I don't say this to discredit everything he's done. Like
Yeah,
I thought
yeah,
his
yeah.
second round yesterday was.
I was
hot.
about to say
But
his
just
second round went
while we're being critical, while we're talking about it,
Too
I
much
think a
shit
lot
that
of
makes
his
sense.
material is really really poor. Just first thing you think of that rhymes. And when people are saying he's top of the class, and he's
I'm
dropping
gonna-
stuff like that
Yeah,
every
jump
battle.
in. What do you think?
You guys,
Yeah,
I'm,
sure,
gonna,
it's your
I'm, gonna
boy,
be, I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
half the battle reps seem like dickheads, bro. And I'm gonna be so real when I
That's
say
your
this because
guy.
a lot of people be like, "Oh, I'm gonna criticize Mo," but when your friend says something that's fucking shit, you don't say anything. And there's bare battle rappers in the scene. You don't say anything to one because you like them. And bro, I'm gonna tell you something off the rip. Yeah, like don't get me wrong, we will tell Mo straight if something ain't good. And it's like if a man deserves to be critiqued for something, calm. They're gonna say nothing because I get critiqued. Even if people say, "Oh, you're a vet," and it's not. But I just find like it's so funny because battle rap, especially in the UK, has always been on this bandwagon tip. So if it's
100%.
popular to not like Moke, everyone's going to jump on it. And I've realised where it's like, alright, cool. You say some bar that you think is not good. That's fair enough. But then everybody wants to jump on it because someone popular said it. And I feel like it's weird because, bro, if I start picking apart bars that certain men have said, you could do it with me.
You do it with me.
You could even do it with me.
But bro,
But like with Moke, it's like, oh yeah, blah blah. there was one Spaces I was on, sorry, where I was just like, bro, like, we get it. Like, we get it. You don't like certain bars, this and that, but at the same time, it's like, there's a difference between critiquing and discrediting.
Yeah.
Big, clear difference.
But what do you think Reverse is doing? Critiquing or discrediting?
No, you can discredit it if you want. No, you can critique it if you want because
I'll discredit it, bro. I don't like it. It's poor, it's rubbish.
If you think something's poor and you have a thesis to back it up as to why it's poor, I'm not going to argue with you. I'm not going to argue if you make something.
And I think that's a fair thesis to say something poor because the setup line is shit. I would say that's a fair.
I'll give credit where it's due. Like there were some punchlines I made.
Some punchlines are okay, but if the setup line is trash.
After
I'm
the battle,
already
you
not
were like,
listening.
his second round was
Yeah.
crazy. Like I really like that. Like that's the thing. You're not just being a dickhead for being a dickhead.
No, man, I thought his second round was the best round of the battle. And I made notes when we were watching it back of, I really liked a couple of his punchlines. But just in general, I really don't think that the quality of his writing is high at all.
So what do you think about Moke? Do you think he's underrated, overrated? What do you think?
Me, honestly, and I don't think, obviously, I'm cool with Monk. Like, very, very cool with Monk. But I keep it real with Monk at the same time. I feel a lot of people fail to understand at the end of the day, he's still young in this thing. He's
I
done
don't
a lot.
think he's evil. I kind of think he is where he is.
Yeah.
I think he's overrated.
Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? It's like when if people say overrated, I'll be like, when you say someone's overrated, like, okay, what do you mean overrated? Like, what's he been given? What's he been given for you to say that he's overrated? Okay. Do you know what I mean? But the guy's put in a lot of battles. He's still learning on the job, bro. Do you get what I'm saying?
Okay,
he's still learning
I like that. Learning on the job.
And I don't feel like we've seen the best of him.
He was 3 in UK and Ireland, but he was voted as the third best for 2022. As UK and Ireland.
So what do you think? You don't think he's whack? You just think he's getting rated too highly?
No, bro. You know what it is, right? Like I just don't think it's for me. And like, if I'm battling the guy, I'm obviously going to point that out, and I'm going to point out shit that I don't like, and then fucking put a magnifying glass under that shit, and then use it for promo, and like be like, okay, people are excited to see it, like even more than they were before. Like people were like, people were like, I really want to see this battle now because of this promo run.
You sold it.
Like now that the battle's over, I'm happy being like, yo, bro, you go and do your thing in your lane, I'll do my thing in my lane. Like we've settled that debate.
But do you feel like he might hang on to this L for a while?
I don't think in his mind it's an L. I think he thinks he won as well. Like,
which means he is hanging on to them.
Oh yeah, but because it was because I didn't feel like it was tight. But he was like, it was super tight. Yeah, like personally, bro. But that's like, and that's
when you passionately beat him, it wasn't tight.
I'm so done.
Man walked so. We couldn't. Oh, bro.
I'm sorry, man.
I was about to say we couldn't have opened it up more for him to walk through, but that would have been.
Whoa.
I've lost my next 3 battles off the back of this,
yeah, nah, but
you see, my thing is this: no one is exempt from critique. Yeah. Just because he's my boy, I'm not gonna sit here and say to you, "Oh, you shouldn't say." That's bullshit, bro. If it's crap, it's crap. And if you could tell me why it's crap, I'll say,
that's what I feel like you're stuck on. Is like you need to be able to let me know. I think that's what I think what he's saying is fair.
I got no qualms with what Reverse said.
Some people don't give 2 fucks about setup lines, but I'm with Reverse that there's a lot of battle rappers that they put quite literally, and this is, I would say it's more of a URL thing overall, right? If you watch URL, there's so many legendary battles where there's bars you can quote for days, but if you really write them down and transcribe the battles, some of the setup lines do not make sense. I think in UK there's a slight edge to people putting effort into setup lines because it's about a piece. It's about, I'm not spitting a couplet, I'm spitting 8 bars and each thing weaves a story, right? So I feel like I do agree. I think Moke had some fire shit, but there was certain bits I was like, I think you've just got that idea for a punchline and you just rush to it as quickly as possible. Give it 10 minutes more. Give it 10 minutes more and it's quotable now.
I used to do that a lot, because I write a lot of punches. I write a lot of punches. Now I used to, everyone was like, how did you get to the punch? And I used to sit down and think, I didn't get there. I just had the idea for the punch, not realizing the setup. Bro, I've got more reaction on friggin' setup sometimes than I got from the damn punch. But it's like, I feel like, don't get me wrong, as battle rappers, there's always going to be a certain level of bravado. I tell people, don't read into certain things, because if you say something about him online, he's within his rights to defend himself. He's within his rights to defend himself, and I'm like, all right, cool. But my thing is this, he's still lying. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, none of us, like, we're not Tony D yet. Do you know what I mean? We haven't got to that level where it's like, we've seen the best of you. I still think he knows himself he has to improve. We all got to improve to be better versions of ourselves. I just feel like, where Moke is concerned, a lot of people have just jumped out, and I feel like, bro, like.
I personally
But, bro-
I didn't realize this many people are jumping down.
No,
the
bro,
can I
that's the
say,
thing,
though?
right? No, I don't think they are, right? Because I saw like
your fault.
Rivers, bro. That's the thing, right? Rivers,
It's not.
Rivers was talking about it, and then you've mentioned it, Darren, and Mocha said it as well. Like, oh, it's popular to hate Mocha.
Yeah.
It isn't, bro. Like,
Yeah.
all I did, I started posting like taking the piss out of like bars.
which is what you should do.
Yeah, he did it as well, and he got love for it. I just don't think he likes
But this is
when
it.
it's.
I don't know.
I personally think
And then let's go to you.
talking about this like online discourse.
Yeah.
I think in a way he brings it upon himself as well. Where I've seen him, this might not be an exact quote, but like I've seen him tweet stuff basically saying like thinks there's an agenda against him or people
Yeah,
hopping on the
okay.
bandwagon against
That's
him.
what I meant by.
And
that
I
sort
do
of,
I
like,
do
result.
understand sometimes, like you say, in battle rap people just pile on and criticize, but equally, like people are a lot of what he says I think is just nonsensical,
Okay.
and people when they're paying for tickets, when they're paying for subscriptions, they're well within their rights to pull that.
Oh,
to
no,
put
But
that
then,
no,
out.
but then,
yeah,
but then,
definitely.
but then I've been into spaces. Here's my thing: if Viz and Mark are going at each other, I have no qualms with what Viz is saying.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
his up.
Yeah, yeah.
Go at him all day long, make him look like shit for it, because that's your fucking job. But I go into spaces and I see everyone talk. And here's my thing: if we're gonna run on that narrative, people paid for tickets, but there are a bunch of man that you man in UK battle rap support that don't write their rounds properly, choke every battle, and you pay to watch them anyway. So shut up, Jan. So it's like my thing is this: give them man the same energy, but you don't because you like them. You don't because you like them because they're your friends.
Keep the energy
Yeah,
away from
don't
them.
get me wrong. Every man is gonna get critiqued, but keep the same energy when the same guy writes a shit bar, and when the same guy that you like doesn't show up and write his 3 rounds too. Tell him that he's effing up.
Same time, bro. I wouldn't say anything
Yeah.
on Twitter unless I was booked against the guy. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna slit him
Yes.
for
No,
no
you
reason.
did your job.
yeah.
You did your job. You
What-
didn't do anything wrong. You did your
So
job.
I'm just yeah.
Yeah.
What I liked about you two's promo run, yeah, is that a lot of battlers are too emotional, and their promo runs, they keep it at 90%, and then out of the blue in the final week it goes to 110%, and it becomes I'm gonna punch you up, and all these these cringy little things.
Paint the ceiling.
Yeah. I'm gonna
Yeah.
paint the ceiling with your guts and all this dumbass shit. So,
So
what I
what's
liked
it
about
that
you
you
lot is
do?
like, the
That's
animosity
fucking
was there,
hilarious, bro.
but you both managed to still keep it like it was all about the battle. You were
Yeah.
like, keep talking what you're talking. I'm gonna fuck you up in the battle. But I'm gonna be totally honest. I don't really know you at all. I don't
Yeah,
know Moke
yeah.
at all. I was watching you like it's gonna. I'm feeling like this is gonna hit a point where they start talking about outside of battle rap shit. So I give you both your props that you kept it. By the time you stepped in the ring, I could sense there was a little bit of hatred.
We
but it was,
didn't, bro. We didn't talk in the video.
yeah, I could
Like,
feel it. I
yeah,
could
we-
feel it 100%. But then I could also see that whilst the battle was going on, you started giving each other more props.
It
Like,
was
yeah,
more-
I mean it in a
was-
good way.
yeah,
Like
it was
there
more of a competitive.
It was competitive.
It was
Yeah,
never,
yeah.
oh, I hate
I'm
you as a
fine with-
person.
No,
It's,
yeah.
I need to talk to you. We need to,
Oh, yeah,
we
yeah.
need to have this conversation.
But I'm
and
saying
we can't
that-
be cool until we do.
But that's totally okay.
Yeah.
But I'm saying I've developed over the years a big problem, and I know it's like every month there's some new problem I got. But I'm saying genuinely, like I hate this thing where it's like a lot of battle rappers are too emotional for a promo run. This is the problem. Like if I step back in the ring, bro, do you know the amount of shit and nonsense I'll be talking?
Yeah, but you
I'm-
gotta do that, don't you?
But that's what I'm saying. That's a different conversation. But I'm saying, in theory, what I'm saying is, I will always be thinking, man, don't start trying to take this on a violent tip just because I said something that got more likes and retweets than you did. Do you know what I mean? So I'm saying with them two, I was thinking this is getting so aggy, and you're both doing these videos, and you're both being, let me see you on Saturday. I was like, all it takes is one of them to start acting like a clown, and they're gonna say, oh, chat to me after the
Yeah,
battle.
yeah, yeah,
but you
yeah,
both
yeah.
kept it at that level where it was
I
like, I said,
really
it's
rate that.
competitive. It was
But
all
even,
just
but
like,
even,
know
but
what,
even,
bro?
but even when you was rapping,
Yeah.
and you was getting aggy at one point, me and Rivers pulled him up.
Yeah.
We said, bro, keep quiet. He's rapping.
Yeah.
Maintain your
And
etiquette.
you know what,
Me and
bro,
Rivers
that-
pulled him and said, yo, bro, keep calm.
That happened
Your
both ways.
etiquette's gotta be on
'cause
point,
he
innit?
was talking and I was talking as
Yeah.
well. Like that's on me. I'll put my hands up on it.
Because it's not real beef. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's
Yeah.
not real. It's just
Yeah,
battle rap.
yeah, like you can't beef over battle rap.
No, it's just battle rap. Like,
And you know what, bro? He
Yeah.
did have an issue with something I did, and he pulled me up with it after the battle, and I respect it. He was like, yo, because he said, oh, I'm going to start writing, like, now, like 3 days before the battle. And I shared, like, a clip of
the
him
voice note
asking me,
for
the
you,
voice note of him asking if we could do, like, 3-minute rounds or whatever, like, 2 weeks before. And he was like, yo, I didn't rate that, didn't think it was cool. And I was like, you know what, bro? That's
Do you know what? I said that during lockdown,
Yeah.
man. I judged the tournament during lockdown, and I said that in one of my judging things that basically two of the guys that were battling
Yeah.
had agreed something over Facebook, and one of them put it. It was a video tournament, and one of them put it in his video. And I said, I was like, I still think that guy won,
Yeah.
but I was like, I'm deducting points
Yeah.
because of that, because
Yeah.
you shared something that was private conversation. That's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
rapping. I don't want to. I said, I was
but
like,
obviously
I
you
don't
weren't
care
like
about your private conversations.
sure.
Just keep it all about what I can be entertained as a fan. All those girls girls sitting on the front of the stage, all those people in the front row that have never been to an event before. All I'm bothered about is the bars that entertain them. That's
exactly,
all I'm fussed about. So I do see where Moat comes from.
no,
But what I love about
handled the correct way though. You said it, they addressed it.
But what I loved about their promo run is, here's the thing, they actually did everything within their power to make people invested in the battle.
Facts.
It was like, literally, it was like visual poster and Monk's like, yeah, I'm clapping back.
Yeah.
Then Vince
Bro,
clapping
I would
back.
sit there
Yeah?
waiting for him to do it because I wanted him to. It's not like I was like, yo, I hope he doesn't see this. Like, I'm
got
like,
him in the
I like
chamber.
that he's firing back. Like,
I was
it's,
saying it,
Yeah,
man.
let's get some thoughts from you, man.
I was,
sorry.
I was thinking going into the battle, I thought it was gonna be Battle of the Night. I thought them two was gonna have Battle of the Night just because.
How they promoted it.
Just because of like the newcomers usually do that as well. Like I remember me and Raptor did it. Like I feel like you get a lot of those matches from like the newer comers. Like they'll give you heated matchups. I think the first is debatable. I think Moke got the second and you got the third.
And I think sorry,
That's the
carry on.
first one, yeah.
But I want to rewatch it again because I didn't catch it in the building, so it's hard. Like I feel like with these judge battles, the building matters. Like because I feel like if you're judging battles, whoever wins in the building does win.
Yeah.
In a judge battle, I don't care about even me and Koji. If Koji wins in the building, he wins. Simple. But,
Agreed.
Like online, we can talk about however we want, and I'm cool with that. But I feel like you have to give it off the room energy. So if I'm not there to see it, it's hard for me to judge what happened in the room as well.
Sure. Yeah.
And you know what? He was getting like a lot of love during his first, and he went first. Like I wanted to go first because I felt like I could kind of diffuse some of his stuff by going first, but we flipped, and he was like, "No, I'm going first." I was like, "All right, cool, like fine." And he was getting a lot of love. So I was in my head, I was like, "This could be tough. I could be fighting him and the room, like if he has them on side." And I don't think they were as receptive to me, but I think they were open to it. You know, and they weren't like hating or anything. They weren't like sleeping. Like it was just. He was good at sort of like, this is my room, like you've come into my room.
Yeah.
But if
Definitely,
Moke
bro.
has a good ability in terms of how he sells his stuff,
Oh,
Moke is a
100%.
very comfortable performer.
For sure. Yeah.
Very comfortable performer. It's just one of those things where it's like, everyone has things they're gonna need to brush up on. But if there's one thing you can't take away from somebody, it's natural charisma.
Natural
Yeah.
charisma
Yeah.
and projection.
Yeah, credit
And they go
where
hand
it's
in
due.
hand.
Obviously, I've been criticising his bars. Credit where it's due. I think Moke is a really solid performer in the room. Like his projection, his aggression, and
Shit's over
also
mine.
I don't know how many he battles very often. Certainly in the past like couple years he has, and I've never seen him stumble or choke
Yeah.
either. So
Because
credit
he's a
where it's
natural
due. He's a good performer.
though. That's why.
And his life is performing and
Yeah.
Remember, we do spoken word shows
Yeah,
and all
like,
that stuff.
he's
innit?
naturally a
Like,
performer.
I've seen this guy memorize 4 minutes of a poem in the morning and go perform it.
right.
Oh,
So
really?
he's good at that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I would say, talking about his second round, everyone thinks he did well in the second, right? I think the way you were behaving in the second made his shit hit harder. I'm going to be honest with you, bro. I feel like maybe a couple of his bars didn't make sense, but a lot of his shit did. And I think the way you were letting it get to you and being like, what? I feel like that made it hit harder. Because he had some bits, like, I see from your point of view as an Irish guy, when someone mentions Guinness, you're like, come on, man. Like, so I give you that one.
Yeah.
That reaction I'll give you. But other shit he was saying, I think you were letting it hit you too much. And when the whole crowd is fucking with it, you gotta just accept, they're fucking with it, man. Do you
Your
know what I mean?
defense, your defense has to be impeccable. Do you know who I always give?
Just don't let it get you.
You know who I always give defense points to? Tally.
Stone Cold.
Just stand there like this. You could say the room could explode and you'll just stare at you.
Yeah.
Like Hollow the Don, another one. You act like you didn't say jack shit.
No, I think Hollow sometimes got bad defense because sometimes his face just look a bit upset. I don't think he means to, but bro, when he got barked on by Tay Rock, I think Hitman's got best defense.
He was looking on the
DNA
verge
does that
of
a lot as
tears.
well. It
so,
looked like he
like-
wants to cry.
I
Tay
think
Rock's got great
You didn't
defense.
look like you wanted to cry, but you looked like you were getting flustered in that second
Really?
round. Yeah,
you look annoyed. You
You're
look annoyed,
turning
bro.
around.
He
You're
was
talking
like-
too much to these lot.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
too much.
yeah.
No,
And
see, to be
it
fair-
makes it. I know when you're battling, you feel like it's diffusing what they're saying, but on the footage, it makes his shit look better.
Yeah.
Because
You look
he said
annoyed.
some shit. I think it was round 2 when he said like you study film, but I know the people that have to see life through a different lens.
Yeah.
See, that's a nice bar, but
Yeah.
you acting like it wasn't nice.
See, to be fair,
it was a nice line. Though.
I had to watch it back this morning because I was like, we're gonna talk about it. I want to see what it was like.
Yeah.
And that one, I was like, why did I act like that?
That's what I'm saying.
No,
See what I'm
no,
saying?
no,
Like,
I was
it
but
hit.
the
It
moment-
hit in the moment, innit?
It hit.
It's
And I
the
thought
moment,
he's gonna fucking look
because,
dumb.
bro. The
Hating
last
that.
8 bars didn't make sense. So I
Yeah.
was just on a hype at this point.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
everything this boy says is trash. And he said something fire, and I was like garbage. It's like
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
actually good. I was like, so yeah, that was actually
his
good.
whole-
I
Every
love
second
that
was
line.
sold.
I love that line. Like something like you study film, but
But he was like, you study film and you wear glasses. I was like, bro,
Is that what he
Yeah,
said?
yeah.
That makes it harder.
bro, it's like it's one of those things.
say
where-
that?
You know,
Yeah,
And you
yeah,
wear
good.
glasses.
he was like, you
so
study film and you wear glasses. I really do.
That's so needless.
But you know what I mean? Like,
That's unintentionally
I think-
funny.
And you wear
bro,
glasses.
I think Moke has so many like
I break that so
ideas for bars which could be fucking incredible. And he says shit, and he would like set something up, and he would say like an idea, and I'm like, okay, I know where he's going with this. This could land so hard, but I don't think it ends up going. I don't think it ends up landing there.
Yeah.
Like the ideas.
But
he
at
has
least
of,
you
like,
admitted that basically some bars he said were hard, but you were just
that
in
one.
that
That one in
zone of-
particular was one that stuck with me because I was like watching it back. I was like,
It's a good line.
yeah, I was
It's
like,
a
that's
good
good.
line.
I was like,
It's
if
a
I was
good-
like, if I wasn't me, I'd react to that.
Definitely,
you know?
yeah.
So that was.
But
on
I
me.
think
was
again,
like-
this ain't personal to you. This battle rappers in general. This has been like forever. This has been a thing.
Yeah.
The whole like, I personally think just stand there stone faced if you don't want to do anything.
Yeah.
Just stand there stone because
Yeah.
I can't think of a single battle where the opponent has acted out while the guy's rapping and they've come out of it looking good. I can't think of a single one. Every
No,
comment is always like, especially if it's a huge million view battle, it's always just like, why was blah 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 acting like it wasn't fire? So you just
Honestly.
for me, just stand there still. You ain't got to laugh. Personally, every clash I've ever had, I've laughed out loud at something because it's funny. But if you don't want to laugh, like you said, do a tally. Just stand there, shut up. It doesn't matter. And then you can't be told you're acting out
'Cause
either way. Like,
To me, like, it doesn't matter what reaction you're like. I always just stand there. completely
you're good at it.
dead-faced.
You've mastered it, man.
Yeah, it helps that I don't rate my opponents either. But,
That's hilarious.
like,
I like that.
I think
That is
people
funny.
like whether if you're like looking to your crew and saying whatever, or if you're laughing, or if you're kind of making an angry face, no matter what it is, like to me, it just looks like they're getting under your skin in one way
That's
or
what I'm
another.
saying. That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
And you know what?
No matter
Like-
what the reaction is, they've got a reaction from you, which
I've
means they said
never
something.
ever really done that before, and
Yeah.
it wasn't that it was like I actually didn't feel flustered. I felt real comfortable, and I felt like I was too comfy to the point where I could turn around, but like felt like I was making a dick out of him. But the
Yeah.
crowd was loving it, and I was like,
Yeah.
I kind of have to give him props for like if they're fucking with it, like makes me look salty.
That's
The
why.
fact that-
That's why I love Rivers' defense. You know, he's got his shades on.
Yeah.
Standing. Most of the time, you don't know what his expression is. But if you say something fire, he'll nod his head.
He'll nod his head,
He does
yeah.
nod his head
But,
slightly.
yo, one of the things I have to give Moke credit for, yeah, I don't know if it's his friend or his girlfriend or his sister. I have no idea who it was. I'll give him credit. He's got some loyal fucking people by his side. Moke has, yeah, because we chatted about this outside briefly. He didn't realize this, yeah, and it's not on camera because they were standing just behind the camera. But if you imagine, visual is my hand here, about less than a foot away from visual was whoever the girl was that was with Moke. And when I tell you, if you look up stone face in the dictionary, it is this woman's face. She held Moke down like you have never seen a woman hold a guy down before. I'm telling you, even when you were getting the biggest pops of the whole battle, I swear to God, her face was just.
I read it though.
So like, and yeah, there's a few bits on footage. You see me and Sean Cray on the stage in the background.
Yeah.
There's a couple bits where we bust up laughing because
Yeah.
one of us said to the other, like, we're like, yo, look at those two people right there. And then what was the jokesiest thing about it was, I didn't know they were with him. I thought they were just hating, and then I saw them leave the event together, and I was like, like, there you go. So I give him props for that. Definitely, he rolls with some loyal people, man.
Yeah.
But it's crazy that shows how in the zone you were. Because if that was me, I would have been sensing all that shit, and it would have been driving me nuts. Like, you're fucking hating on me, man. But you were just there
You
rapping.
think I
like.
can rap when someone dresses as a magician and like, it's not like, like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm just
That bar you freestyled about it was cold.
Bro,
man.
all I'm trying to do is remember my next bar, bro. Like,
Yeah,
I'm in
yeah,
a just. I don't realize anything going on.
I just
You're just in the
wish they
moment,
had a
isn't
third
I don't-
camera.
I could care
The
what
only
level
thing I
I'm
noticed
around
is when
me.
I don't know
the only time I broke like during my thing is when Moke actually like I was like I got a big reaction. I was like, "Are you stupid?" And then he got on my face, and then I was like, "Back up." Like, that's the only time I like said anything else. I was like, "Back up." Anything else, it was like I'm flipping at the start of the round, and then once I'm in it, I'm finishing it. Like I'm not fucking stopping. Like
But no.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
what's everyone's thought? So okay, so how many times has this domestic abuse angle been used on him? Because I don't know.
bro, I don't watch much of his battle, so I don't really
I
know.
think-
I know Ark mentioned it once, but for one bar.
Okay.
He
Yeah.
was like, "You can get slapped up too. Like men can get." So I was like, "All right."
Okay.
But
I
was
think
just-
you were the third person to bring it up.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think who.
I don't know. Who the
Did it
second
come out
was.
against Messi? Was it the Messi battle?
I haven't finished it.
No.
Wasn't that one?
Messi didn't mention it.
Someone, I don't remember the exact battle. I think someone's
Yeah,
angled on it before.
he
Ark
was-
had like one bar about it, and
He
then
didn't
you had
seem
a
happy
round
that he
on
was
it.
like, "Oh, this is tired." I
But
didn't
again,
realize like,
exactly what I said to you.
Yeah.
He played into it.
He played into
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Same thing. He should have made one comment like, "Oh, really?"
Yeah,
again.
Rivers
But he
was
let
like,
it get
bro,
to him like
yeah,
too
Rivers was
much.
like, bro, you should have kept quiet there, man.
He said after I think you mentioned that he was like, you know what, I think you could see that it was sort of getting to me, and that's like why I was reacting like that. And he said as well, yeah, he was like, it's been done before, and you just see Celeste in the background being like, not this well.
I love Celeste.
Yeah,
So what's everyone's feelings on that round? Did like say with Jem? Did you feel like
I don't really know the pretense.
I didn't
stuff.
either.
Yeah, but it was good. It was good. It was a good round.
I think
like I like the round.
It was a strategic round.
Like
I feel like a lot of the times people fail to understand that you're there to, when we were there to win points in it, there to win a battle. And I feel from a strategic standpoint, I don't mind people using angles if you execute them well. Like someone can say, oh, it's been said before, but if you do it good,
Yeah.
then yes. If you do it trash, it looks 10 times worse for you. But you took it and you made it resonate in the room, which no one can take away from you. So no one can't say anything. Even if a man thinks, oh, isn't that? I can't take away from how it was executed. That's just how I felt.
The execution to me was crazy. I think the bar that made me fuck with it the most was when you said, because you only been battling one guy, I've been prepping for two.
Yeah.
Like, because I'll be honest, the whole scheme, obviously, you're all multi-ing off domestic abuse, whatever. I'll be totally honest, I was fucking with it maybe like 6 out of 10, 7 out of 10, because even though I didn't know if it was true, I didn't really give a fuck, bro. Like, that kind of angle, I've never really liked the personal shit. Like, I don't really like, I like this angle, like I said, just spitting bars, like, angles just about you standing right here kind of thing. So I'm not too much of a fan of, like, a big thing about you outside of battle rap. So I saw where you were going with it, and I was like, all right, well, like, he's executing it well. I can't hate on it. He's doing his thing.
Yeah.
But I wasn't like fucking with it that hard. But then when you brought it again back to the creativeness, because I felt like just saying you're mocking domestic abuse is not too creative to me. But when you said that, you brought it all the way back to like, you don't even know who you are. I've been prepping for two people. Straight away, I was like, now we're talking about.
Full circle. Kind of.
Do you know what I mean? Now we're like 8, 9 out of 10. Do you know
I
what
tried
mean?
to make
So
it like not just relevant to that round, but like what he was going to be saying in this battle as well.
Yeah.
It's like you wouldn't be saying this at a poetry kind of thing. It was like,
And it worked. This is what I'm saying,
yeah.
bro. Like you didn't hit it for like 32 bars. Just like, all right, I'm bored of it now. Like you did your thing, and then you made sure you peppered in a couple little creative bits to keep everybody's attention. So I'll give you props.
And
on
I
this.
felt it was.
Yeah, I knew you were gonna say that. I knew you were gonna say that.
Obviously, Moke took quite a serious angle in the second as well, and I liked that you both kind of kept it wrapped for 2 rounds, and then like it got a little bit sort of claws out for one.
What
round
was
for
his
each of you.
personal round?
He was obviously talking about the whole you haven't struggled in Ireland kind of.
Oh,
thing.
But
okay.
Still.
like
Yeah.
I feel like every opponent I have says that to me.
Sure. Yeah.
And I'm
yeah,
like,
yeah.
okay, bro, Milky, my like Just Jay, like my 3rd ever battle, like, and then my 4th ever battle, then my 5th, then my 6th. It's all about, yeah, he says he's from Belfast, but this. I'm like, okay, but I let him do it. Like, it's just, but yeah, like I'm always gonna get that because if I talk about it, it's open to criticism.
in
like,
fairness,
Jem's gonna get something about clothes and dressing.
yeah.
I'm gonna get it about showing
I don't know what it'll be about you, man.
bars, showing everyone. I'm like, which still none of my rounds have ever been leaked, dickheads.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I took a shot at you by 2nd as well. I was like,
Oh,
sorry,
for
bro.
fuck's sake, man.
Oh yeah, that was so funny.
Even Moke took a shot at me in this fucking
Yeah,
round.
he
I'm
did
like,
as
we're
well,
supposed
yeah,
to be gang,
yeah,
man.
yeah.
What's going on here, man?
But yeah, he had and to finish it off, Moke had he had one more visual thing I liked when he referenced treatment. I thought that was nice.
That
'cause
was-
he
Oh,
actually
I
put
didn't
effort
actually
in that.
get that bar.
Well, treatment is well. You explain it because you're the film guy. Like.
Well, a treatment is like what you would give someone like to sort of pitch for a film kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I forget the actual
right.
setup of it, but that was one I was like, bro, if you structured all your bars like that,
Yes.
I would have got smoked.
It's
today.
like kind of like what
respect.
you'd said, like a 5-page like PDF
Yeah,
breaking
yeah,
down
yeah.
kind of like what
Okay.
you think it would be if you made the film.
Yeah.
like
Sure.
this.
Yeah.
And he said something about
Oh,
you're
I
getting
didn't
a
know what that
bad
was.
treatment or something. But
I thought that was some like old film
No,
developing
no,
a film
that's like
treatment
relevant.
thing. I
But
didn't cook
I see what you're saying again. It's like
know what that means.
He had one visual bar which I really liked because people often say like, oh, visual as though visual is like a synonym for film, and I
Yeah.
think it doesn't really make sense. But he had one.
I
don't remember
think it can
exactly
work.
how we-
I think that's when you start digging too deep. If you
But hang on,
there are ways for it to work, like Quill being like, I got a red dot for visual like the Terminator. That works.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
other
yeah.
people
but that's
do
for
like,
visual.
So what were you saying? What were you saying?
But you'd be
He had one
strictly for
bar
film, yeah.
where
I mean, I feel
Hold
like
on.
he had one bar where I thought he made it make sense where he was like you know, when you're playing a game and like it's lagging behind, basically.
I need the visual to
I
catch
need the
up to where I'm
visual
at.
display to. It was
Oh, the
something
game
about
picture.
the
About the
visual
game
display
picture.
hasn't caught up to
Yeah.
me or something like
But that was early on in the battles, and he was
Yeah.
still in hater mode.
Yeah,
Because he
yeah.
was hating
But
on that one as
I
well,
thought
Chaz.
that was
I
hard.
didn't love that one though. Like I still didn't love that one.
But you were saying about don't hit me with visual bars that don't make sense. I think that one made sense. I think that,
No,
I think
that
I think
one-
that makes
If
perfect
it, don't,
sense.
if it makes sense, it's still not be
That
great.
one made
True,
sense.
yeah,
I
you could
liked
just
that
not like
one.
it. That's
Alright,
true.
so what visual bars don't make sense? Because I feel like if I ever battle you, I'm gonna have better. so let me know. Because what does visual mean? 'Cause
Right,
I ain't
Just
gonna
do
look up.
glasses bars. They're the ones that pop
Yeah.
clearly.
Well, what
Just-
makes sense?
You need to go to film school and wear glasses.
I love that he said
That's
that
why this
so
punch
much.
is good.
I love that he said that.
Yeah. No, but yeah, like the same way Kojay was like attacking you for the dialect, like slanted dialect, italics, like that shit. Like that's
Yeah.
people
That's
do
why
that
I'm
with visual.
definitely-
Yeah,
yeah, I'll definitely
people
do
do that
that.
for visual. But
So what is a visual? I'm genuinely asking.
Yeah.
bro,
Google.
it's a hard to flip name for a reason. Like I didn't call myself
what, like,
films.
so-
like
So is a movie not a visual? So is a movie not a visual?
what? It's
No,
it's
but you
you're like,
wouldn't-
oh, you want to go to cinema watch a visual later?
Just because you won't say it, I don't mean.
Unless it's
No,
like
but-
an
but the
army
thing
film
is-
or something that would work, but like.
Yeah, nah, you're going in
But
bad
it's
bars
when you
territory.
word it though. Like,
I'm going to bad bars territory. What
Yeah,
about-
when
There's-
Bagnall did the thing where he started going too hard and breaking
no,
down.
no, don't get me wrong. Like as I said, there were a few times Moke did it where
Yeah,
the wording
they can
actually
work.
made sense, and I
Yeah,
thought
yeah,
it
I'm
was
still
good.
saying which ones do make. So I'm saying
People
if
take too much liberty with it. Like it can
Yeah,
work, but
yeah.
so much of it doesn't.
Like
you haven't given a definition. You're trying to keep.
no,
it
no,
in
I'm
the
trying to
grey
think.
area now.
Quill had one which I didn't
In case
like.
I
I'm
come
trying to
up
think
with
what
one.
that was.
trying to save your ass in case he does one.
Because I've been called out for doing them before. I was like, shit, alright. No, but like the ones I put on Twitter being like Moke bars, like probably. I was like, Moke said this probably. And it was like, you won't get a clear round visual, spec savers, like that kind of shit. Like,
alright.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck off.
No, dude.
See?
Yeah. Wait, you know what?
That's terrible.
You're right.
I'm
Stay
not gonna punch
stay
you.
out.
That
Stay
is
out for a while.
terrible.
But
I've been trying to
obviously,
convince you to come back.
That was terrible. I would punch you for saying that. That is fucking
that's the
terrible.
sort of
I would
context.
have, I would have
When you
actually
say that.
reacted to
If
that.
someone, you won't get a clear.
The white out in the interview.
Oh,
after
Even
when
though
you
I
lose.
hate rounds wordplay and I hate stretch wordplay, that's one of the ones that would have got me on the day.
No, do you
A
know what?
lot of bars when I'm hosting battles, they
Yeah,
get
they
me
get
on
you
the
on the
day
day.
because I'm there right
Yeah,
now. Then I
yeah,
watch
you
it back
enjoy
and I'm like,
everything more in
someone,
the room.
someone, someone,
you're
someone,
right.
the visual, sorry, the video, all the visual won't make it online. But there was someone said it's a battle we're not uploading. Somebody said in Bristol, they said it's like you'll feel like it's raining hydraulics. You or like you're gonna beg that you can catch a break. It was something like that. You think you can't catch a break. You're gonna wish it was raining, bro. I reacted on the day, but that is a baddest of
Why
bad
did you
bars.
react?
Because I'm there and I'm in the moment.
yeah.
This is
Are
what I'm
you
saying.
drinking?
So if, this is what I'm saying. He said if it's B like. That would have been a bad bar in 2013, bro. It's raining hydraulics. You'll be wishing you can catch a break.
My point
But
was-
what I'm saying is, if I was there on the day and Moke with his loud delivery said you won't get a clear round visual spec savers, I would have popped because I'd get it. And then I
can't trust
and
your
then,
judgment.
No, listen. And then what I'm saying is,
You wanted to judge that.
I did want to judge that. You got a close call there. I would have been like, yo, my favourite thing about Moke was the setups, bro. They were on point, fam. Like, nah, but that's the
Yeah,
point
I
I'm
wouldn't
making. There's
buy
a
that
lot of
split
bars that are
either.
not good lyrics, but when you're there on the moment, watch any battle on any league. The people in the camera shot often react to shit. And then reassess in
Yeah.
their
Well,
mind.
you
I think
enjoy it more. You're having a good time
That's
on the
what I'm
day. You're
saying.
drinking. with
Remember,
your friends.
remember when Charlie Clips said, "Hey, listen, I'll never forget this. I reacted, and I wasn't even in the room." Johnny said, "Oh, Caliber, you should dodge. That's a challenger," and everyone was going mad. And I was like, "You should dodge. That's a challenge." And you know, part of me was like, "You're a dickhead for liking this, you know? You're a real
Dodge
prick."
Viper, innit?
Huh?
It's a Viper.
Yeah.
It's not a challenge.
It's not a challenge.
It's a Viper.
And I was just like, bro, but he sold it. So the room went mad.
Yeah.
The whole room
I'll put
erupted.
thing in the ER. That's a calendar. Yeah. I'll put June, May, and all that shit. Yeah.
What? This
But
man-
no, my thing is when he says visual, because I remember when Bagnall did bad bars and he said our rounds, everyone does a round
Yeah, yeah,
thing, and for me that went too far because it's like he said rounds have to either be a round or fucking bullets. And then no one did rounds and everyone got trolled for it, and that's when people that fucked up.
Oh yeah, rounds is dead. It's
No.
terrible.
I don't
wordplay.
believe that.
No,
either.
it's terrible wordplay.
Yeah, I don't believe what he's saying. That's what I mean.
It's terrible.
No.
It's this weird sort of logic of thinking
Yeah.
that. All right, what? So I can't call anything circular around.
No, you can't. You
Yeah,
can't.
see,
Makes
that's
sense, you
cap.
can.
See, that's just
But,
dumb.
but something circular is not a round. It's round.
But you know what I mean when I say it, right?
No, but this is
that's-
it.
but
But
that's
but
territory.
hear-
But
but
that's
hear me out.
This is
There's-
where you become a nerd.
But this is
No,
where it comes down
it
to.
is.
Bro,
When
And
you're
you
a
just said
nerd.
clear round visual is whack, but that actually would make sense. Is what
I'm
you're
not even
saying.
saying that. I'm just saying when he says that's why I said what does visual mean? Because it's where
No,
people-
man. Like,
My
'Cause
opening
Chess said-
angle
Chess said
was
something
this
like-
word sounds like this. That was his whole thing. So it's like, oh, you know what I mean? You know what I meant to say.
Yeah.
Like, you know, that's
Yeah.
not that doesn't make it a good bar. It's like,
But-
you know what I
kind of
Like-
like because rap hasn't always been bro. It's still interpretation. This
But
is
it
what I
should
think
no,
is
make
I,
sense,
wild.
no, I
It does
hear
make
what you're
sense. If you
saying.
know what I'm saying, it makes sense, right?
No, if
I
I know
do.
what
I know exactly what
I
you're
hear
saying
it.
by saying that, but I don't agree.
Chess said-
I
Chess
hear
said-
it
Chess
to
said-
an
Hold on,
extent.
hold on.
Wait, Chess said something like Jack Frost, watch a free cold round body come to life. Are you telling me that's not a bar? You know exactly what that means.
That's
That
an
is a
interesting
bar.
thinking point. It is. an
Don't get me
interesting
wrong,
point.
man.
Jack,
Like,
you see a free cold round body come to life.
But you wouldn't look at a snowman and go, "Oh, look at those 3 cold
and
rounds."
you wouldn't say half the weird shit you say
No,
about
no.
anime in battle rap.
and that's whack as well.
But that is bad rap.
no,
It's
no.
all whack.
It's not
Jim,
whack.
It is.
don't get me wrong. Like,
That's nerd shit.
I'm
when you
not
do that. I
saying-
think that's nerdy shit.
I'm
when you
not
do
saying
that.
you
I
can
can't
never
lie.
do it. Like,
think it's
there,
nerdy when
I
you do that
guarantee at some point in my life I would have reacted to a round bar.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I
if
just think
it's
I'm
it's
just
good,
saying,
it's
no,
good.
I'm not
But
using
I
that. I'm
just
just
think-
using that as an example of where
But
people I think
yeah,
nerdy with
the
bars.
reason I mention it with the visual one in particular
Yeah.
is whenever I'm watching visual battles, 80% of people's material is visual XYZ like XYZ
Well,
film,
I wouldn't have
and
one
to me it
visual
just gets tight.
Bro, Frankie did it amazing. He said he was like visual show, but he did like visual in his accent. It was like visual show, but this is your ceiling like a planetarium. And I thought that was
Yeah,
class.
yeah.
I was like, that shit works. Like that's really good. But then like Milky was
I don't get it.
it was like visual show, but this is your ceiling like a planetarium, like visual show.
That's fire.
That's
Oh,
crazy.
yeah, yeah,
But
yeah,
then
yeah, yeah,
Milky
yeah,
said
yeah,
like,
yeah,
oh
yeah,
yo,
yeah, yeah. That's sick, yeah,
people in
that's
the Troubles had their faces painted on houses, and they're the only visuals we'll see in them Belfast streets. And I'm like, but it's a painting, it's a mural, it's not a visual.
Yeah, you
Like,
never call
yeah.
that a visual.
You know what
never
I mean?
call
That's
it-
what I
that's what I
mean
mean.
when people are using it as,
Yeah.
and reaching with it.
So Frankie killed it, other people don't. It's like that kind
Yeah.
of thing.
I get what you mean.
And like I said, Mocap one which I liked with the I'm waiting for a visual display to catch up to me or something.
Because you use
Like,
that term.
because
display,
a
that's
visual
term,
display
yeah,
makes
yeah,
sense.
yeah, yeah.
But if he had, but like, yeah, sometimes with visual, and it happens with other names as well. I just think you give too much leeway.
And I
You
think-
can give a bit of leeway because it's rapping, but don't just let them say any nonsense that puts a picture in your
But
head.
that's
No,
why I
I
go
get you
back
if it's
earlier.
whack, but like
Yeah.
there are some things where it's like, bro, if I can explain it, you can't tell me I'm wrong because I wrote it.
But if that
I
Jack
don't know
Frost
if
thing,
I agree with that.
I reckon
to
if
be
a
honest.
if a tryout said it,
If I
they
say
would have got
this-
slated. But
yeah.
if you said it, they'd be like, "That's fire." I feel like that.
Yeah,
That's,
yeah.
you know what I mean? I
Yeah,
feel
but
like
that's weird ways of looking at it as well, because then you're hindering other people. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
if I can genuinely say I wrote this because of this, you can't tell me my thought process is wrong. I'm a rapper. Like,
No, that,
I think it's different if you're like. I think it sounds bad. I think battle rappers who very just battle rap and got into battle rap as battle rap, sometimes they'll get caught in that because they're trying to put shit together that might not fit together when they. I've got bars even against Kojay that people might think, but I'm like, I know exactly what I mean. Like, even in that 24 bars or fucking thing, there's bars that people are like, that's not that crazy. I don't care. You can't say that makes sense to me.
yeah.
I could have put Bizzo on an Aston Martin. Who raps like that?
Yeah, I didn't like the people reacted too early to that. They didn't wait for the punch.
They didn't even get what that meant.
I only clocked.
No one who raps that. I
I
want
only
to put Bizzo
clocked
on
the
an Aston
Omega
Martin. It's
thing on
not
the watchback
007
as well.
branded. It's code word for
I only
Bond
got
getting.
the Omega thing on the watchback.
Makes sense to me.
That
You
was
don't have
hard.
to like it.
Yeah. Anyway, man. Visual and Moke. Good battle. Man's going out of here. I guess final thing. What would you improve on for next time? Because you definitely improved on. The little bits you had to change.
Take
the
his
quill.
glasses off.
So yeah. What would you for next battle? What would you improve on? And is there anything from the way Moke attacked you that you're like, oh okay, actually, let me think about it going forward.
no, really. The most that I sort of was thinking about was the podcast where Quill was on it and you were discussing the battle with me. I watched that and there were bits that I was like, shit, I agree with this,
Okay.
but it's too late to change it for the Moke battle. So for my next one, like
I like that's honest as fuck.
yeah,
I rate
like
that.
whenever
G shit, that's
whenever
G
I'm,
shit.
whenever I'm
That's
structuring
G
my
shit.
runs for the next one, I'm actually writing. There's a lot more that I'm going to keep in mind because shit that you guys were criticizing, I was like, my first 2 rounds has a good bit of this in it, and I was like, you know what, it's a fair point. I never thought about it like that, but yeah, I'm not going to change it now.
No, you got mad potential, bro. I just think you need to tweak it up a bit.
Yeah,
You've always done
definitely.
Definitely.
Yeah,
100%, bro.
but yeah. So next one anyway. I kind of know what I need to do now, whereas the other ones I just sort of think of bars and then structure around it.
Yeah, man.
I have an idea now, which is nice. So,
Sick. All right. End it there, man.
thanks, man.
Let's do reverse
creepy.
and Crow.
sure.
All right, we're back.
Fire battle.
Going Flop podcast, battle number 3 of 4 from what was the event? Match day
2.
Premier Battles Match Day 2. We're back. Shouts out to all the staff. I genuinely really enjoyable event, man. I had a great time again. Big up and a custom jacket, obviously. Starter. But yeah, let's kick this off. Reverse vs Crow. Really good battle. Give us some thoughts, bro.
Yeah, I'm really happy, obviously, to get the win. To be honest, man, it was a battle. I felt for me, there was a lot riding on it. Like,
What was right? Like, what do you mean?
I don't know how plugged in you are with all of the PB season thing, but basically, I wasn't meant to be in this season in this Division 1 tournament thing in the first place.
Meant to be Raptor.
Yeah, it was meant to be Raptor. I got called in to replace him. And so if I'd been sort of called in as a substitute and then he lost my first battle, that really isn't a good look for me. So I felt like, yeah, it was sort of a must-win scenario. It was my first judge battle, my first sort of...
Wow, really?
Well, yeah.
Oh, shit, no
My
way.
first judge battle, my first like time limits, all of that.
Okay.
So just like a proper different, really different process for me, man.
Yeah, man.
A lot higher pressure.
About to say, were you more nervous? Yeah.
Yeah, and to be fair, I don't know if I was more nervous, to be honest. I feel like every time I have a battle, I'm more nervous than the last, but then I think I'm just
Really? You're more nervous each time?
But then I think I just forget how nervous I got last time, and really I'm just like at max nerves every time, you know what I mean?
Damn.
But yeah, it was my first time as well, like writing for someone who I kind of knew, who I've met before, who I chat to, so which is a really sort of different experience from my perspective.
Yeah. But I mean, I guess that translated on the footage like that it wasn't, there's no hatred. It translated that it was just like, you're both nervous because you wanted to do well, but it didn't feel like what we just talked about with Mocha Visual.
Yeah.
Beef and this and that. It was just like, I feel like, as much as it was a good battle, I felt like neither of you were that keen to battle each other, really. It
Honestly,
kind of felt like you just kind of had to do the battle, like...
In all honesty, yeah. Like, I never would have wanted to battle Crow.
No.
To be honest, I thought that me versus Crow was a battle that should have happened on Don't Flop, because that's where we tried out, and that's where... I don't know if that's where most of his battles have been, but certainly, like, from the newer crop, we're two sort of Don't Flop guys,
associated with Don't Flop, as well.
But yeah, the way the whole match day worked out, we had to face each other, and from that point, it was just sort of fine. Just get right, and let's see you can do better. It was just a competitive thing. Yeah.
So round for round, let's go through your round one.
Sure.
We have to, in your round one, we have to talk about how many times you practice reverse cowgirl. I mean, that's the biggest pause I've ever said in my life. But we have to, for anyone who doesn't know, for anybody, I was about to explain it, but take them through, like, what I mean, you got a huge, I was just saying a huge bang, but you got a huge pause. Today is the day of pause. The title of this episode has to be something to do with pause, because there's next level pause today.
Just pause the video now.
But again, there's certain bars every event you're like when we were talking to Quill with the magician, how many times you practice? Like when I see you, like, you swagged out the thing about saying your girl was doing reverse cowgirl, like, how many times did you practice that, and was it awkward to practice that out loud?
In all honesty, bro, that was one of the last things I added in.
Right.
So I'd run pretty much every other bar more than that. But yeah, like I practice, like I'm not somebody who's like running my bars when I'm walking to work or anything like that.
Really?
Like,
Not
yeah,
too
I'll
tough?
just if I get the house to myself, then I'll rehearse at full projection a couple times, and that's it. I'm not running it.
So do you
every
think
day
your memorization
necessarily.
game in general is just quite good?
Yeah, I think I'm just fortunate. I've got a pretty good memory.
I have the same.
It helps that I write early as well, so don't get me wrong. Like I did run it a bunch of times. It's not like
Well, your memorization is not bad, man.
No, but I memorize. I go with my shit a million times with my memory. Isn't it?
Right.
Yeah,
Same.
no, like,
So you're quite lucky just a few times. Do you feel like
Yeah.
you memorize your shit as you're writing it?
100%, especially because like
You have to run it while you're writing.
yeah, exactly.
Until it's done, you're
I think
still
that could
running
be a
it.
tip for a lot of people,
Like-
you
But,
know.
like-
Run your shit as you develop
Always,
it.
Dude,
yeah.
like, when-
No, not everybody does that.
When you
Not
got your
everybody
first
does that.
16, you spit that,
No,
and then
no.
when you got your next, you
Literally,
I don't.
like
I get
I don't.
sorry to cut you.
Go on.
Sometimes you know when you might be different, but if I've got like my first minute and I know that and I want to run the whole thing, but I don't know the second half, I'll just start it from halfway towards the end of the part I know, so I don't have to bother because I know.
yeah,
the first
yeah.
Like
I'll be doing the same thing. Like
So
In
so
fairness-
how many out loud practices do you usually have like for this battle? How many full
to
rehearsals
be
do you
fair,
have?
this one I practiced am rehearsed the least, and I was the latest prep that I've ever been.
You seemed comfy.
Just
as
because
hell.
I've
very
well, thank you guys. But no, I just had some. I've been busy personally in the process of building up for this, so I haven't been as in the battle rap headspace as I had been for previous opponents. So I probably ran these maybe 10 times, 15 times.
That's
Something like
not-
that.
Do you feel like
That sounds like a
That's
lot,
not-
but that's
yeah.
actually fuck all.
I do that more than
Yeah.
I do more than 10, 15 times in a day.
On the
sometimes.
day off,
Yeah,
in the
like-
shower.
In the shower.
Don't get me wrong, I'd have read the bars. I'd have read the bars more than that, but out loud, full rehearsal, sort of doing actions and that, 10 or 15 times probably.
Okay, so that was probably your moment of round one.
Yeah,
I feel
yeah.
like was a reverse cowgirl. Talking about memorization, unfortunately, Crow had a choke.
hmm
I was
Yeah.
gutted about that. Not just because Crow's my guy, but when I knew it was going to be a great battle.
And
I
I've
was
had
like-
the round as well. That's something that hurt me.
Yeah, yeah.
So unfortunately, he had a choke, which almost automatically gave you round one. But you
Mhm.
may have took round one anyway. And you'll never know.
Yeah, I
You'll
mean-
never know. Like.
No, realistically, and I'm not coming here to like, you know, I'm not going to talk shit about Crow's performance. I thought Crow did well.
He did amazing,
Easily my
definitely.
toughest opponent yet.
Without a doubt.
I think I would have taken round one anyway, if nothing else, just off that bar. Like that was the biggest bar of the battle. And I felt like his round one was probably his weakest. Like he was cooking, don't get me wrong, but I don't think he built up as much momentum.
What I
as
think
me.
you needed to do, and this is a tiny criticism because that stuff you said about, you're saying my finger game is not good enough.
Yeah.
That actually popped, but I think that would have popped even more if you spent a little bit of time explaining Crow's character. Because I laughed like a motherfucker at that
'Cause
because
you
I
know
know
it.
Crow
Yeah,
and I
yeah,
know
yeah.
how seriously he takes rapping. So I was dying at that shit. But I feel like people in the audience kind of laughed because it was quite funny and cheeky.
Yeah, yeah.
But I think you should have given them a bit more backstory of like you are so serious
Yeah.
as a human being, and it would have
Like,
gone even more.
to be
'Cause
honest,
it went
man,
crazy.
like-
Like you, what was it you said? You said something about
Oh,
you
so,
tell your
like-
girl like it's not it's your pussy's the problem, not my hand, or
Yeah,
something like that.
the
like.
bar was.
And as I
yeah.
said, if you know Crow, amazing,
It was-
amazing.
Yeah, like picture Crow with his girl, being Crow with the crowd to try to understand it. She's like, I love you, Patrick, but you can't please me in the bedroom. It's time for something drastic. And he's over here like, my finger movement is fire. It's not my fault your vagina doesn't catch it. Yeah, like to be honest, like
That's so fucking rude. That's so fucking rude.
that was the first thing I wrote. I'm pretty sure.
But he had a great first round. Unfortunately, he had a
Choked
fire
up, yeah.
first round, but he fucked up with that choke. He
He
choked
only had
like
like four
bars,
bars,
bro.
He
like-
should have called time.
But the ender was so sick. That's why you were trying to get it back. But when you say fuck and I've forgotten,
Yep.
call time.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
don't say
Don't
fuck.
say fuck.
Don't say fuck.
Don't say fuck.
If you feel like you're about to say fuck, say time.
Mhm.
I've done it a couple times. No one's ever clocked.
Yeah.
Jersey.
I've clocked stop rounds early because I'm like, don't know my bar.
Yeah, yeah. There
better
are
off
ways
saying time.
to hide it as well. Like he even had a stumble, I think later in his third, might have been his second,
He did.
where he was sort of jumping around like, what is it? And then to be fair, like in the room, I don't think many people caught it.
No
They were
people
still
clocked it. He
reacting.
masked it so well. You could tell it was, but then he just got it back in the moment. And I was
Yeah,
like, fine,
yeah.
Fine,
fuck
if you
for
can
that.
do it in one, bro. If you can speak fuck, oh, I got it, and do it, bro. People just don't want to hear gaps of silence.
yeah.
If you can say fuck 10 times and get your bar back, people will laugh and it will just even seamless.
I've forgotten my bars every battle I've done.
You serious?
There's been at least one moment.
Including 2 days ago.
There's been at least one moment where I've said, "What's my next bar?" But you just don't
Spoke
let the
about
crowd
this,
know
yeah.
that.
So
Yeah,
scary.
we spoke
Yeah.
about this.
So scary.
I've never had that.
You just
never
I've
had
had that a bunch
Never.
of times. I've had that a bunch of times. But I didn't
Yeah.
with this one, and I didn't know a lot of my stuff like tip top. But yeah, no, I remember. Like I can remember. I'm good at memorizing. That's what I've realized. Like I'm really good at memorizing. Like even on the last 3 days, I was adding new shits or changing orders, and I can still remember it.
But it's peak. It's very peak for Crow that he choked. And the fact
Yeah.
when he told me afterwards it was 4 lines, I was just like, bruv, what the hell are you doing,
Jersey,
man? Like, you had
Yeah.
such a nice opening
It's
round,
wanting
bro.
to wrap
like,
your round that exact way.
you want to
wrote
do it the way. And
Yeah.
again, it's
sure.
kind of what Reverse was mocking Crow for, that he needs to
Yeah,
have the
yeah.
shit done in the way he
And
needs to have it
again,
done.
like what you were saying, you got the vibe neither of us wanted to battle. I think if we did battle on Don't Flop, we wouldn't have had like strict 2-minute time limits. And something like that whole vagina doesn't catch it thing, I'd have made a whole round
Whole
out of
thing
that,
out of
you
it,
know?
yeah,
Whereas in this,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
like, I had so many
Time
ideas
limits,
that I had to condense. Like
Yeah, but
almost every 8 bar I spat would have started as a 16, and every
Right,
4
right,
would have
right,
started
right.
as an 8. You know, and I
Right.
felt like I was
but
really
it's
just
it's
chopping
good for you
things.
as a writer to always know how to condense your stuff.
Sure,
Someone
yeah,
who
yeah,
Used
Yeah.
to write long rounds.
right. I
Like, that's what I
definitely
like about these time limits. Like 2.5 minutes, I was like, and that's why memorizing for me 2.5 minutes is
Yeah.
fucking simple.
Yeah, because
Yeah, man.
I overwrite all the time. I wrote like 12 minutes of shit for art, and I had to condense it down to just 7 minutes.
Yeah, man.
It was long.
I'll spit a 7-minute round, so spitting 2-minute rounds for me now is
Legend has it you're still spitting your first for shots.
somewhere.
So round one, you think you probably would have taken it, but he did his thing. Mine is the choke.
Well,
He did
I
his thing.
thought, not going into it, I thought my round one wasn't my strongest round going into it.
it was neither
But
of
on
your
the
strongest.
day,
Neither.
on the day, I felt like that was the round that went down best. Maybe you guys felt different,
But
but
lyrically, it was neither of your strongest rounds. But you both did well.
It was the biggest reaction.
yeah, I felt like I got my biggest reactions in the first.
Yeah.
That reverse cowgirl.
Yeah.
I looked up at Rivers and he went.
That
He went,
Yeah.
yeah.
in itself is a pause, but when I heard reverse cowgirl, I looked at Rivers and he went.
Okay, I gotta hold that. I gotta hold that. I gotta hold
That's
that.
what it was. That's what Rivers said. That's
I'm
what
so
Rivers
done.
said.
I'm so done.
He said, "Scoop, let me hold you in reverse cowgirl." Man, I love that, love that. But you killed it. So with that, like,
Yeah.
was that? I don't even know what to fucking ask. It was just such a unexpected moment,
Right,
Like, because your
yeah,
whole
yeah.
style is very kind of breaking you down, taking the piss, and then out of the blue you drop the most sexually explicit
Yeah,
line
yeah.
of the day, and everyone was like, "Whoa!"
Can I tell
like-
you what, actually? I brought a mate of mine to this event who'd never seen battle rap before. Never. Well, I brought a few mates, but basically none of them are battle rap fans. And after my first round, I heard one of my mates ask one of my other mates, "Yo, did Eddie actually fuck Crow's girl?" He just didn't know you could lie in a battle.
He didn't know you could lie.
It has to
He
be
really
true.
thought.
It has to be true.
Yeah.
Oh god, if only that was the truth that you couldn't lie.
Imagine.
God, everyone's
I'd have still spat that bar.
That's
I'm joking.
brilliant. So yeah, anyway, moving on to round two. Again, it's always moments for me, and I feel like we'll probably be in agreement. The moment of round two for Crow was setting up the whole scheme on Shuffle's book. You bought Shuffle's
The
book,
appendix
whatever,
thing.
and then saying,
Right.
"I'm gonna hit your stomach with a rusty hook, rip it out, and study your appendix like you did with
Yeah.
Shuffle's book." I was like, "That's the Crow I'm trying to see today, man." Like, so that
Yeah,
was my
yeah.
moment. But if any of you got any other moments, let me know. But for me, I just think that was the moment of both of your rounds for me, because he was so aggy that he choked in round one.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
came back and just, I told him, I was like, "What? Every battle you need to improve, right?" And I feel like he improved so much. His performance, his delivery has always been loud, but performance, stepping forward, back, left, right, here.
I think
Sure.
it's, I think
The
it's-
choke fucked him up, and he was like, "All right, let's rap now."
Yeah,
Do you know what I
yeah.
mean?
Yeah, I
Like,
think
Was
it's-
it that round he said the Windows Live bar as well?
I think that might be
That was the
third.
third.
First,
one,
sorry, the Outlook
yeah.
thing. Woo.
That was bars.
But yeah, anyway, so
Yeah,
what other ones will we fucking with from round two?
Yeah,
for both of you?
I liked that bar. I'm kind of tired of hearing about that angle, to be honest. But I thought that was probably the best
You got a
I've heard
while
someone
left,
do
son.
it.
I'm gonna tell
I
you
know,
that
man.
right
I
now,
know,
bro.
but
You got a while left of it.
it hasn't worked yet, so maybe they'll give up soon. But, yeah, no, like I liked his material. I thought he approached it well. That bar in particular, I thought was good.
The appendix bar was serious.
Yeah. I actually really liked his thing in the first about the whole speech impediment thing. Like, no one's come at me with
Why is this
anything
a
like
repeat
that.
angle? Have you about Shuffle's book?
So long story, man. But basically, it was like I came into this with like no videos online, nothing, and it was
So-
mentioned
Through
in my
Shuffle co-signing him.
Okay.
And it was
so
mentioned in my
basically it's
tryout.
like-
So it
And
is a
then-
fair angle. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, don't get me wrong, I get why people
there's
use
legs in
it.
it left.
But
So you're a Shuffle baby.
no, man. So it was basically that I came like there's nothing about me online really, and then that was said in my tryout, and then since then that's been like everyone's just used that.
But kind
since.
of what I said about Shotty, like dissing Shuffle with the stab bar, I feel like next guy battles you either has to have a line that betters that. Because whether you like the line or not, the reaction shut the place down. It was so loud. Even one of those weird ones where watching it back on camera this morning, wasn't actually as loud on camera as it was in the room. In the room,
Right.
when he said that, like the way he performed
Was it a proper haymaker?
popped,
I don't
bro.
remember
It
that popping
popped,
hard.
trust
in
me.
the room.
The appendix bar,
Yeah,
pro-
fair
and it had
play,
everybody in
fair
the
play,
crowd.
yeah,
We were
man.
all looking at each other, being like, "Why the fuck didn't I think of that line, man?
Yeah,
That's fucking
yeah.
fire." But it's
Yeah.
like, it's same thing what I said with the stab bar. Like, next guy who clashes you, they can do the shuffle angle till the cows come home, but they have to do better ones than what Crow did. And I'm not sure how many more there is left. You know?
Sure. Yeah, yeah.
That angle's gonna die hard, bro.
But so what were you feeling about your second round?
To be honest, man, going into the battle, I thought there was no way he won the second round. Like, if I'm being real, I thought I was pretty happy with my first. I was very happy with my second, and I was so about my third. And I think the second is probably the one he took, if he took a round. Yeah, I didn't anticipate, like, I dropped some bars that I really thought would get a much bigger reaction than they did. And some of my stuff got a very mixed reaction. I was obviously going off his whole American thing. And the whole thing about, like, his dad being in the Air Force, obviously it was a ridiculous, gimmicky comedy angle. I think some people thought I was kind of being serious, was making some political statement, whatever. Like, there was some sort of booze and ooze at times.
I think there was a lot of new fans.
Yeah,
to
yeah.
that event as well.
There's a few every event now, and you need to take that into
There was a
Like,
lot
I-
this one.
yeah,
There was
dude,
a lot
I-
this
there
one.
is.
feel
I
like
genuinely, I
20,
heard,
30.
like,
Yeah, I
there
would
were a
say
lot
about
of
that,
people
yeah.
I'd never seen before.
Yeah.
And so
a lot.
I had a bar, which, to be fair, is probably like the most kind of outrageous thing I've said or whatever. But I was like, oh, at that point he got shot, math class and whatnot was the joke, right? And I heard like in the front row, like 4 girls literally just look at me eye booing me when I said that, and it was yeah. And I actually just looked at them and said shush, but
you
which
gotta
I
do
wouldn't.
Straight,
No, you
shut
gotta
up.
do
Yeah,
that,
I can't
bro.
do that.
But yeah, that was something that I thought. To be fair, I wasn't even planning on that getting a big reaction. I thought that was a bit of a get that out the way. That was just a transition to my next bar. But I didn't think there was some stuff that I said that I felt, yeah, people took a bit serious maybe. But it's probably the people who haven't been at events before.
Yeah, I do think
so-
that there was a mix at this event. Which was
Yeah.
good. Which was good though. Like, at least you're getting new fans. There's a lot of girls in the building. Shouts to the ladies in the building.
Even the ones that want to be up Georgie Rich.
Even though the ones that want to be
Especially
up
that
Georgie
one.
Yeah, shout out especially the girls that got on Georgie Rich.
Rich.
May have been the same girl that didn't like your school shooter bar, possibly.
No, man,
Was
it
it
was
not? No.
different girls.
So there's
yeah,
a
yeah,
lot of hating women in the building.
Yeah,
She's main
yeah.
event in Squad.
Well, she'll definitely feature in a lot of battles going
Yeah,
forward.
yeah.
But maybe her face won't be on camera. But yeah, so you kind of felt like your second round was weaker than your first round, or?
So, well, no, going into it, I thought my second was my strongest, but like the reactions I got just weren't as good. I think also Crow kind of and it surprised me actually because I made that comment after his choke, oh, this is going to be easier than I thought,
Yeah,
kind of thing.
that was cheeky as fuck.
Which was I'm fucking glad I didn't choke after that. Imagine that.
was so cheeky.
But that was very kind of disrespectful.
So rude, bro.
But I thought exactly that. Like, if he's choked, I've come back with the most disrespectful thing. Like, I thought I would have had the room there for the second.
You said it
and
with such a
didn't.
straight face, you know. Man said
Yeah.
that's gonna be easier than I thought, and I was like, "Wow, don't have it." I just said,
Yeah.
"Crow, don't have it, don't have it,
Like,
please."
and then I done a flip after, and I really thought, like, now I'm going into my strongest round after he's just choked. I've made a comment, I've done the flip, all the momentum's back for me, and it just didn't really go how I thought. Like, I'm still happy with it, don't get me wrong, but I thought that would have been, like, the best round I ever spat, and it very much wasn't.
So then moving on to round 3, had my personal favourite reverse bar
Mm-hmm.
the battle, which I think you know what I'm gonna say, which was the rhyme scheme of Bird and Autograph.
Oh, yeah.
Amazing writing, definitely Shuffle T influence writing, not in a disrespectful way, but 100% Shuffle T and Marlo influence writing.
Sure.
But maybe my favourite shit at the battle. I think my favourite shit from Crow would have been the Shuffle book.
Yeah,
shit.
yeah.
So I'd love the rap element of it. For you personally, that third round, I feel like it was pretty even. Bar his choke, it was pretty fucking even.
Yeah.
And I think you really started to push yourself out with that one. With the writing was just top notch. You couldn't look at those bars written on paper and be like, that word should have been there. It was just like, there you go, there you go, there you go, there you go, there you go.
Yeah.
So that was my favourite part of your third. But did you have any other bits of your third that you were just happy with,
Yeah,
unhappy
well,
with, whatever? Like, But to be clear, for anyone who hasn't seen the bar, what is the scheme? You say you're talking about Crow's slogan, which is about leaving a feather, and then you basically say, why are you leaving an autograph? It's a calling card. It's a this, it's a that.
You leave a bird and an autograph. That's absurd as a calling card.
Have
it's
you
a
ever
bird,
heard?
I could forge your art. Have you heard of a watermark?
That was the one that got me. Have you
Yeah.
heard of a watermark? Like, it was just
Yeah.
it was a joke. But,
No,
but yeah, what else did you fuck with from your own shit and his shit and whatever?
Well, yeah, so my third, I changed my third quite a bit last minute because it was a bit long, basically. Well, fuck's sake, man.
Sorry, I'm so sorry. You been getting this since the battle.
Yeah.
I'm sorry,
Honestly, I got paused in the battle as well, man. No, so my third was like sort of 2:25, something like that, and I wasn't sure. I'd asked if we have like a grace period. I kind of think 30-second grace period is standard. I didn't know if they were gonna be like marked down after 2 minutes kind of thing. So I cut a load of stuff from my third, which in hindsight I wish I spat because Crow rapped longer. But yeah, so basically I had that kind of angle, that whole making fun of his slogan for the first half of the third, and then I thought Crow was gonna have an angle about me just doing comedy, me not rapping kind of thing, and so I tried to come with a bit more kind of punchline heavy stuff for the rest of the third. And to be honest, that was some of my favourite material, but it didn't necessarily, it didn't go down badly at all. Like, it didn't pop like.
But that's
like
the
the
story
Reverse
for
Cowgirl
every
thing,
battle you
man.
ever do, bro. The shit that in your head you're like, this is the one. It's never the one. Never the one.
Always, honestly.
Say that still.
Really?
I didn't think.
There's certain bars I've written. and
You're
I've
like,
said,
that's the one.
That is a haymaker.
Never
If
for
you
me.
don't
Never
react-
for
if
me.
you don't react to this, but I've got for that follow you home for the charger. The room did not react to that. I would have been like, oh my days.
Yeah,
I would have walked out.
I just, personally, I feel like.
I've had ones that didn't. That
I
I've
think
written and I
you're
thought
the
was bang.
anomaly there, bro. I think most people, they have a scheme they think is the one and it's never the one.
James, do
bro.
I not always say to you what bars are gonna bang? Yeah. Every time James tells me something, I say that's gonna bang. That's gonna bang.
Did all the stuff for Kojay you thought was gonna bang bang? Or most of it, not most of it. What like?
I feel like now I write different, so some of my stuff isn't like, doesn't need to bang like some of it, and it's like, I don't know.
The Liz Truss thing, I told him they are going to erupt.
Erupt.
Yeah.
Your favorite line was the Houdini. I didn't know about the scheme because I don't write schemes and I'm not a big fan.
I knew I was gonna bang because it wasn't a trash scheme.
Yeah, but I'm still not a fan of them. But I did like it. Like it made a lot of like and fucking the something blue. I didn't know.
You're never gonna get.
I just didn't know if it was gonna work, so I was happy
Yeah.
it did, innit? Like, and I thought of it very, very, very last minute. Like,
So what stuff did you think was gonna pop that didn't pop? I mean, no,
yeah.
I don't think you got slept on in the whole battle. What,
No,
what got slept on more than
Yeah,
you thought?
nothing I spat got crickets. Like everything
Never.
got some reaction. I had a scheme like was like an 8-bar. That the last two were like because this talent pool's deep, but there's a loan shark within it, and you'll need a lot more than a crowbar to kill it. I thought that was gonna go off, especially because like that's like the most I've ever like rapped in a battle. You know what I mean? That was like 8 bars with cadence on the same scheme, like in a kind of flow pattern like we'd spoken about before.
yeah.
And I thought it was gonna be like, okay, he's doing this, and it was kind of just like, oh yeah, that was good.
I was being a hater the whole battle, bro.
For-
I'd never spoken to Reavers before, and obviously I know Crow.
Yeah.
I've never spoken to Reavers yet, and I was like, why is this guy so poised and so like? I said, fuck him. Yeah, I was like, fuck Reavers. And before the battle, I was like, fuck him up, Crow. And then when he said the reverse cowgirl bar, I just pause.
Yeah.
I just nodded at Rivers like, yeah, this guy's fine.
still sounds wild.
Yeah,
but
You paused after.
and I think you both. It'd be interesting at Crow's thoughts, but same thing with his third. Maybe it got less reaction than he thought. Maybe it did. Who knows? But I absolutely loved in Crow's third round when he said the imaginary boxing match, and he said, and we got Reverse fighting out of a place of privilege. Like that was gold, bro. Like this is what I was telling him after the clash. I was like, bruv, you needed that every round, bro. I was like, every 4 bars you need something cheeky like that, bro. And you need to not choke your best 4 bars at the end. Bro.
I thought
that was an
I really
amazing
liked
bar.
that
I don't know
line.
how. And he said he was describing himself. I'm this.
Yeah.
And we got Reverse fighting out of a place of privilege. Amazing, bro.
I didn't like before that. He said like sporting a vaguely racist image. which
That's
is
okay.
set up to
You've
that.
got a vaguely. I think that's quite accurate for you.
No man, I've again that's just one of them things I'm sick of hearing.
Maybe you are, but I mean, I think
There's gonna be
Like,
certain things.
every opponent
I'm
I've
sick of a
had,
lot of shit, bro.
every opponent I've had has just said you're
Yeah.
racist, you're shuffle T, and I'm just
No,
like,
but I think he got it accurate with the word vague. You have a vaguely racist image.
You reckon?
You know what it is? I'll tell you why. Because perception is everything.
Yeah,
so for
yeah.
example,
No, don't get me wrong. I get
that's
why
what
they
I mean.
do
Yeah,
it. I get why
perception is
they do
everything.
it.
Like, don't get me wrong. I always say to people who are not really out there or go out, but
You're vagueist.
Yeah.
Vagueism.
Vagueism. I like that.
Dude, I would have 100% flipped that if I'd gone second, by the way.
Yeah.
And I really, but normally I don't care if I go first or second. I really wanted to go second against Crow because obviously I was making fun of his slogan, and I think my third would have hit a lot harder.
Oh,
if
if
he
you'd
just
already
spat the
said
third.
it, yes.
So I was. This is the only time I've ever cared, and it's the only
Right.
time I've ever lost the coin flip either.
oh shit.
So yeah, that was just bad luck.
Yeah, that would have been
Um,
so you saved it for your third, hoping
Yeah,
he would have said
exactly.
rap. Oh,
So I had a
man, yeah.
different. I had two versions of the opener to my third, depending on if I'd gone first or second.
Oh,
and the
that's
one
a shame,
for if I'd
that's a
gone
shame.
second was a lot harder.
But yeah, no, he-
but my favourite, he cried a bar in that round. He wanted to book me in a property ladder match. I thought that was hilarious.
Brilliant,
I like
brilliant.
that.
That was
Fucking
dope.
fire, bro. Like,
But-
he's a great writer. This might be one of his years where he blows up, man.
No, he is a crazy writer.
I will say this, and I keep saying to people that he doesn't get as much credit as he deserves, bro. Yeah, Crow is actually fire, bruv. Like he comes up with something and he's proper dedicated to the thing. Like if anything, go and watch the battle with Terminal.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
flamed on Terminal, bro. Like the guy's a talented writer. I just feel like obviously he's new. People don't really, people like who they like, but trust me, Crow's cold, bro.
He's a good writer, man. I do feel sometimes his delivery for me doesn't connect. Insofar as like the property ladder match bar, like that's a really funny line, and he delivered it like it was like a gully punchline kind of thing. Like they booked Reverse in a property ladder match, and it's like people will respond to your stuff better if there's a little more awareness of what it is.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And do you feel like you're getting more aware of that with your writing now? Like, what
Yeah, but
needs to be stressed, what needs to be unstressed, kind of.
Yeah, and yes and no. Like I think the Carlton Shanks battle was the learning curve for that. And ever since then, I've kind of had an idea of like, oh, I need to take myself a little less seriously, kind of thing. And since then, like, everything's been so much more like being received well better. Just because, yeah, like I say, I stopped delivering everything like it's the hardest line I've ever spat, you know.
Yeah.
And I still feel like Crow. I think he is a crazy writer, and as I say, best opponent, yeah. But if I'm giving him a bit of criticism, like honestly, he fucking burst my eardrum shouting "Windows Live" in my ear. And there's something about that, like, as great as the line is, you're shouting "Windows Live" in my ear.
Yeah, it's like
can't
the
be that
massive
hard,
battles where someone's
know?
got a haymaker and it's about like a teddy bear or
Yeah,
tickle me Elmo's,
yeah.
and you're like, you are actually a grown man
Yeah.
screaming "tickle me Elmo" in my face. Like,
Literally.
I know what you mean. It's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
this is a nice wordplay on Windows Live, but it's just a computer software.
Yeah,
kind of, and
yeah.
You need to. Do you know what I mean?
Like, so yeah.
don't say this like it's a bar about stabbing me or something.
Literally, yeah.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
so
yeah, yeah.
I really fuck with
Like
Crow's
the
writing
energy
and
he
his
had with the
punchlines.
Rusty Hook thing is great because he's doing imagery about fucking you
Yeah,
up. But
yeah,
maybe
yeah.
when you're saying kind of like what you said, property ladder match, maybe smile a bit more.
Yeah,
say
yeah,
a bit more.
exactly.
You know, jollily if that's a word. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
But yeah, definitely.
That'll be my sort of main criticism of him. But no, I thought he had really good material. As I say, I think the angles were predictable, but equally, you know, there's not that much to go off with me.
Exactly.
I'm new.
You-
there's
you've
not
gotta
that much
give people
about
credit
me.
that, like, unless
And the
you want
material
people
was
to
the best
really
it's
go
been.
at you. You know what I mean? Unless you want people to really, and he even said that the stuff he had about your school, he had loads more which he chose not to do.
Oh yeah, he had crazy research on me which he didn't use.
Yeah, and he
which I
said he
respect.
chose not to because he was like, it's just a
Yeah,
battle.
yeah.
There's no point taking the piss. You know what
Yeah,
I mean? So
yeah.
I feel like he had some nice angles on your school with some funny shit. Yeah, you say it's tired angles, but he did at least extend it a bit.
Don't get me wrong.
got a
Yeah,
bit
yeah.
nice
Like,
with it.
it's the best
fucking hell,
material.
They know each other.
What's that? Sorry.
No. He says how. dirt is not just something you chat about in person.
schools?
Crow definitely did
Yeah,
some
no.
research.
He did serious research. Like,
How
dude,
do you do that?
He was showing me.
He must have
I don't even know if I want to say this. I don't even know if I want to say this
We
on the
cut out, we
podcast.
cut
or
out, we
anything.
cut out.
But he scrolled through on his phone after the battle. He
Yeah,
was showing
yeah,
me videos
yeah.
of me giving presentations
Yeah.
I
in
thought he was
school.
about to say something weird.
Fucked up, bro.
Videos
Nah,
of me
dude,
giving
videos of me and
brains
My mate came in. My mate came into the event. My mate who I invited to the event, and Crow already knew who he was.
Nah, Crow, you gotta get out.
Crow's a fed.
Yeah.
Jake.
Nah.
Hey, Crow,
Honestly, yeah.
Crow, nah.
Can you imagine that?
He come up to me afterwards and he
That's
was
jokes.
telling me what my GCSEs were and shit.
I'm scrapping.
Yeah.
Any battle rapper comes up to me with this.
Man said what they said.
No battle rapper will come up to us. No, you're never gonna have that problem. No battle rapper's gonna tell you.
I got a C in dialect.
You got it fucked up.
Hey, any battle rapper coming to me with that much dirt, I swear to God, we will fight.
Yeah.
But nah, Crow had some dirt on you, but he showed a level of respect. Like you
Yeah,
didn't say anything
equally
too
I did as
crazy
well.
about him.
Like-
Exactly, you didn't go. You could have gone more in on the American stuff. You could have gone in more on him working for Don't Flop. You could have done loads of things.
Yeah,
you kept
yeah.
it like
we both just kept it
pretty
rap.
cool. You had a great balance. Like when you said like we both put in work on Don't Flop, but I'm a poster boy in a different way. That's what I mean. It's just like it's not kind of like what I'm saying. The visual about sometimes about like taking ideas that you're just clumsily gluing them together. But
Sure.
that was just straight up like you're a graphic designer. I'm the poster boy. It was like bang done.
Yeah,
we
yeah.
all got that. We all laughed like. Yeah, that was solid, man. It was a solid
Thank you,
clash.
man.
Like I feel bad. Crow's my boy. Like I feel really fucking annoyed. I know this sounds crazy, but I wish he choked like 25 bars, 26 bars, 30 bars. Like I'm
Yeah,
fucking
yeah.
so angry. He choked 4 bars.
Because he should have called it,
Should
man.
have just called her.
And he gave me a lot of time to think of a rebuttal as well.
Yeah.
I had
Yeah.
I had after what I said as well. I had something like 40 seconds to think of like 2 bars on the last thing he said. You know.
Yeah. Let's get some final thoughts, starting with Jem. What do you feel about the clash? And then we'll move on to the next one.
I think it was really good. I wish I could have seen it live. But the only battle I got to saw live was Ark and Scoop. But I've always liked Crow's like style. It's like he's a heavy writer, obviously. Like, he's
Long-term
heavy.
rap fan, definitely.
But I do think Reverse took it. I think Crow told me as well on the day as well. He's like he thinks he lost because I think because of the choke he wasn't sure. But I do think the writing in it from both sides was really good. Which I haven't actually watched many of your battles, so it was really like, fun for me to actually watch it. And I think you got the biggest reaction of the battle as well. And I think in judge battles, that's what you're trying to do.
Moments.
Yeah, man.
Like,
He got a moment.
you're trying to have moments and crowd reaction, and you're not really trying to be too over the head. I feel like in judge battles.
I think if you're matching up from 3 rounds, in my personal opinion, if you're matching up just one moment versus one moment, you're matching up his reverse cowgirl versus the book, and I think that wins. That is what it is.
Because it's more
Like,
applicable
if you
as well in
yeah.
the sense where it's like, people like me, I had to ask him now.
Yeah.
essentially.
Crow did give a criticism in hilarious Crow fashion on Twitter. I did see Crow be like, I want to break down the bird and an autograph segment to say that I never actually said I leave a bird. I was like,
No,
you don't
yeah.
understand
I didn't see
how
that.
meta
Did he
this
say
is.
that?
That Reverse is talking about
Yeah,
you
yeah.
being too nitpicky, and
Yeah,
you're nitpicking
literally.
a bar about nitpicking. Like,
Yeah.
Crow said that he likes the line. He knows why it popped off.
To
But
be
he
honest-
did want me to mention that he didn't. He never said he'd leave a bird. He said I'll leave a black feather.
I only said
It's so fucking stupid.
I only
But I said it 'cause
I
it
said
was-
I said the feather thing obviously loads of times when I quoted it. I only said bird for the rhyme scheme, to be honest.
It's great. It was
Yeah.
amazing. But yeah, some final thoughts on the clash, man.
Bro, you know what? I was, even though I was like you, I was so annoyed with that 4-bar, so pissed. But I have to give. You think in these kind of battles, these judge battles, you did everything to win that battle.
Trust.
So there's nothing I can take away from you. You went in there to win and got the dub. I do think Crow deserves the utmost respect because a lot of people weren't giving him the credit he deserved, and I do feel on the back of that performance, even though we took an L in the decision, a lot of people will give him his respect for what he can do, and you know, I think Crow really, really did himself solid. I think he obviously beat himself up for the 4 bars or whatever, but you know, we live and we learn. But your poise and how relaxed you are in a room is of someone that's top tier, like that's been here for ages,
Facts.
like ages.
I think that's a pretty commonly said thing about it right now.
It's like you don't look as if to say you're alarmed to be there. You look like, yo, it's game time. And I like your defense as well, because you keep your straight faced. Like straight face. I say, yeah, fuck it.
Even when he mentioned the school, which you could tell you were probably a bit like, damn, like you still were.
Yeah, just
When the battle ended, I was with you both, and you were like, bro, what the fuck?
Yeah, literally.
But in the battle, you kept it how you should. Man.
Yeah.
So, final question: what's one thing you're going to work on for the next battle? You.
To be honest, man, I was gonna say I think everything I do will be better next battle.
Yeah.
Just because, as I say, I wasn't too motivated to write for Crow. The time limits and everything. That was my first judge battle. Still adjusting to trying to make everything a bit snappier. I think what I'd do differently next battle is I'd probably be more comfortable doing more stuff like my third. Like I was worried with that whole slogan stuff. I thought that was gonna be like, people might think that was too nitpicky and sort of like too kind of like.
Only
like,
if he'd had
you know
one
what I
battle
mean?
and said it. When he said it in 25 battles, I think it's fair game, bro. It's fair game.
Fair, yeah. But like we were having the discussion about like dissecting the visual bars and round bars and all of that. Like I thought people might not fuck with me breaking down literally 2 bars for like 16 bars. You know what I mean? Whereas now I kind of understand now. Like as long as what you're saying is good, people will fuck with it. It's that simple. So. I'll just be more comfortable to write what I want to write in the future.
And you gotta trust your own process as well. Like I think a lot of battlers get fucked up there when they start doubting what's good and what's not.
Yeah, man.
Because the lines start getting blurred because it's all wordplay, it's all stuff
For
like
sure.
that. And what makes one wordplay better than the other once you've done 1,000 of them?
Yeah.
That's why. Yeah.
No, I hear that, man.
Complicated, but I think it was a great battle.
But no, like. Yeah, I was happy with my performance. Obviously pleased to get the win. I think Crow did really well. My best opponent yet.
And who is your next opponent?
I shouldn't say that yet.
Okay.
Can't say that.
But yeah, somebody I'll be very happy with. Basically, I'll have to improve to beat him.
Nice. What's the main thing you need to improve on to battle this next person?
I don't know, man. Probably. I know, but now I look like a dick. But I don't need to improve on anything. I really don't know, to be honest, man. I'll have to watch it all back. Like, I personally felt less comfortable and less poised in the room against Crow than I have in my previous 2 or 3 battles. I don't know why that was. I'm not a huge fan of the venue. I don't know if it was that. I wasn't wearing my glasses. I don't know if it was that. Like, it could have been anything. Like, as I say, I didn't really want to battle Crow. Maybe it was that. For whatever reason. Yeah, so for me, there were a lot of lines that I didn't perform how I wanted to perform. And to be honest, like, I'm happy. I'm obviously happy I got the win, but realistically, I think my performance could have been a lot better. There were some bars that I said too quietly, some bars I should have been looking at the crowd, I was looking at him, etc., etc. So I'll just make sure I'm more polished, more refined, more, you know what I mean, more in the moment.
That's what's up. Crow, I love you, bro. Unfortunately, you took the L, but love the reverse, man. It was a great fucking battle. Big up all.
Don't Flop podcast. Right now we're here talking about Scoop versus Ark.
Clap it up, man.
Picked up the win for the Knights.
Thank you, man.
How you feeling?
I feel alright, man. I feel energy was off in that battle. Partly, I feel like obviously the battle was what it was, but if we had gone on a bit later, probably a bit better. People were still arriving to the venue, like.
Yeah, no, there wasn't that many people there at the beginning, so. Like, I was there watching it, and I feel like the battle would have been better if there was more people. I feel like that affected Ark a lot. I felt like you was very composed, but I felt like the lack of crowd might have affected Ark's performance.
Yeah, I feel so.
Yeah, I'd agree with it.
I'm ready to go regardless, like, especially my style of rap.
Yeah,
you just lay it, just bang, bang, bang anyway.
Yeah,
so
same,
yeah, so it's just like I just rap, so it is what it is. No, man, I enjoyed the battle.
But do you feel like what would have been different about it if it started later in the day?
Do you know what it is? I feed off energy. I love crowds. I can't lie. I love crowds.
As you should, bro.
I love it. Like, I love it. I turn up more the more like there's more people there are. I will turn up more. I will feel like I have to turn up more. This one, like, I looked around and I was like, I'm just gonna rap.
What did you think of his material?
I liked. There's certain pieces I did like. There's certain pieces I did like in the second round, especially.
Which was the you've been working on the tubes.
Yeah.
Now you'll be eating through them.
Well, yeah, I love that.
That was
shit.
probably one of the only ones that got a reaction out of me. Like that definitely got a laugh. For
Yeah.
sure.
I liked his what's a pagan to the you said
To the
what's a-
Antichrist.
That was fire. That was fire. I like that. That was a good flip of your bar.
Yeah.
Do you think if you give him any rounds, which rounds would you give him?
Second. Definitely
Second.
second.
Yeah, I think you might have got the second.
I'd agree with that. I think if I was scoring it, I think Scoop took it 2-1 without taking the second. But and now Ark obviously had a couple stumbles. I think he stumbled in his first and he called his third short. However,
Has he stumbled a lot in general?
No.
not like that.
I don't think he has.
But
I don't like him at all.
I think Scoop also. Obviously, you never know what would have happened, but I think Scoop's material in those rounds, Scoop's material throughout was really strong, and I don't think it would have gone that differently if Ark could come with his material, man. Like, Ark has a style where he builds, like, Scoop and Ark have very different styles, and I just feel like Scoop's is more compatible to work in a room like that.
I think Scoop's style works more. You can put Scoop anywhere, and the same thing will happen. Like if you put Scoop in a small room, if you put Scoop in front of 5 people or 1,000 with the same bars, the same thing will happen.
Yeah.
Like
I prefer most battlers in small rooms. I really do. I prefer all of you. I prefer watching the battles.
Yeah, but Scoop,
Like,
Scoop
genuinely.
Scoop's been rapping the same way since he started, and he started.
And you started in the deepest of deepest.
And he started on Battle of the Brain with Charlie Clips.
The
and,
deepest,
like,
like-
in front of 1,000 people.
And yeah,
It's
I
5, 6,
remember literally
7,
being
9.
like, "That's the geezer that I got shown a video of." Like, what? Like, how
So-
random is that? Like,
And his style isn't anything different now. So I get what you're saying. I think Ark does. I think he needed more of the crowd to sort of, or there was just maybe there's times where there was the spaces in from the punchline to the next.
Yeah.
line
He
where
was
getting
slept on the
thrown
segments because there was a part where I tapped him and I was like, that was fire.
off. But I think you were both set.
you always show love, man. Like, you're not like.
I'm not a hater, bro. If you say something that's cold, I will tell you in the middle of the round that is fire. Like, I just battle rap's not that deep to me, bro. Like, if it's cold, I'm gonna enjoy it. You know what I'm saying? It's just one of them ones. But I'm not a hater, man. I don't give a damn.
So what was the one? What was the all like top like 3 that you were like, yeah.
The Antichrist thing, fire. There was a labyrinth bar.
I feel like that was the exact voice you said.
Yeah,
Yeah,
That's exactly what you said.
The
like.
Pan's Labyrinth.
Pan's
line was
Labyrinth
cold.
line. That,
Actually,
they
I
slept
can't
on
lie.
that. Yeah, they
The
slept
Pan's
on that.
Labyrinth line here was 90.
Yeah, they slept on that, and I was like, yo, he's fire. No, you know what it is? I hate people that use fat jokes because I think they're just generic, but he actually says something I'd be cracking up, man. Man said you get tired following people on Instagram, and I was like, yeah, that's funny. That is fun. That is funny.
Yeah.
That was round 1, I think, when he had some slip ups.
Yeah.
And it went into round 1, and it went into the rest of the round, and it was like, okay, you kind of pulled it back. a little
I
bit.
think it would have been. I think it would have been fine if you just like, maybe just like increase the pace of the whole thing, probably because you're in a small room, so it's not like you're on a big
Yeah.
stage. You know, when you're on a big stage, you get that time. It's the opposite. When you're on a big stage, you need to kind of slow down your bars a touch. But when I think you're in a pit, you can actually speed them up a bit, so it sounds more rapid. And if there's any
That's so
gaps, you
true.
just go through them. Because a bar, like even Kojay did it, was in the beginning of his round. He said something. He was like, "Oh, it's rap the way you earned them," or something. But he kept going, so it seemed seamless. But if he stopped there, expecting like a reaction, and waited, and then have to kept going, it would have looked more awkward. But he rapped it.
Yeah.
If you rap your bars all the way through, like you're not gonna get reaction. We always say this. It's way better. Like always rap like you're not gonna get reaction, and then it will sound like a verse instead of.
Right.
And you won't get thrown off. If you're waiting for reactions, you'll get thrown off.
Yeah,
So I think that was just it. I think it was just the spaces where
He didn't start strong. He started really weak, bro. Like, whatever this thing about, this whole scheme that led up to, like, it's a process of elimination, now you're witness to elimination. It's like, it didn't need that build up,
Yeah,
bro. Like,
yeah.
it was like, yeah, I get the bar. Like, it's not like a shit bar or anything, but it's like,
I like the
you're
bar,
not
but I
gripping
can't
me,
remember.
bro. You're not gripping me from the beginning. I want more. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, there was no, I don't know, man. It didn't seem too.
I think it was the energy in the room.
It didn't look right on camera. I didn't catch it on the day. It didn't look right on camera, man.
Yeah, I think
I
what
only
you-
seen it on the day.
It didn't look right, man.
like Ark's style was kind of what you said, sort of prepared for a big stage, and I feel
Yeah,
like
I think
Stoops.
he's a big stage performer.
Yeah. And obviously, like, you're talking about how the long build up. Also, he's someone who sort of stacks a lot of rhymes and everything. And it was like Scoop's cadence was just like much more appealing. When Ark actually got going, he did have some good bars in the first, like something about the mob got the barrels in, like the prohibition. Like he did have some good bars, but his whole performance didn't quite connect.
I personally, I know this. Everyone else, I know you do Knights bars, people do Glory bars. I don't really fuck with any of the team bars. I'm gonna be honest. I get the writing. I understand the concept. I did react when Koj said to you something about it'll be a long night.
That's a great bar.
Whatever,
That
I
was a
reacted.
good bar, though.
I'm saying I did, but that, you know what I said earlier about how I react to stuff, and I'm like, oh, I actually
Turn a
fucking
night,
like that,
you'll
bro.
see a night shift into a.
It's just, I don't know, for me personally, we're already in something nerdy, which is self-admittedly nerdy. I think we need to steer away from doing things that make it more nerdy. That's how I feel. So, like, that's an example. Like, I reacted to that line, like, yeah, that's quite a good line, actually, yeah. But I'm like, I just don't need these bars about, we're repping this team. I personally don't give a fuck about them, you know what I mean? And that's why I feel like Shuffle's bar hit so hard when he said to Shotty, like, I don't care about the teams because I'm not 5 or whatever. Like, I was like,
I'm the opposite with that logic in a sense, because like, if you're gonna do it, you might as well do it.
yeah, I bro, like,
If you're gonna do, it's like
if you're gonna take part in a team's
it's
battle,
like you said, it's like you said
yeah,
you was pissed off when rappers used to be like, oh yeah, I don't even like this shit.
yeah.
It's like you're saying, like, you know what I mean? I get what you're saying,
But it's like you're doing a team tournament, so
So
let's
you've gotta take
rep the team.
I think
That's why I don't know when else would agree with me. It's just when I hear him, I'm like, like I'm hating. So I'm saying, like, it's like, I don't know. I didn't expect to hear him do a team bar to you. That surprised me. As much as I got the wordplay, whatever.
but
I was
Quill's
like,
the
but even Quill, like, even whenever Quill does anything team related, I'm like, chill, man. Like, I don't.
Yeah, but Quill's their manager. He's probably polluting all their.
Yeah. Quill probably checked all his rights and was like, yeah, we have a 4-team
got
bar
quota.
reference. But
Got
yeah,
quota.
you haven't met the quota, but yeah. So I mean, what did you feel like you took every round, or he got one round?
I feel like you got one. If any run I gave him was the second, but then when I watched it back and I analysed it and I spoke to people in a day, he said in his first round, you know, I only take battles when I feel there's something to say, and then I started my second round by saying
you only take battles.
Yeah,
You got something to
you
say.
got something to say, and I was like,
Yeah.
It was because for me, writing for Ark was weird because.
Yeah, you didn't want him. I'll be honest with that. Like you just took him because your team.
Do you know what it was? I didn't have a problem. I liked the name, and I just said, "Alright, cool." But do you know what it is? Everyone knows my kind of style, and I'm very open to expanding my style. So I don't mind taking certain opponents that will make me do that. I'm not afraid. But it's just one of those ones where it's like, say as opposed to Frankie, where I can just bar out. I don't have to worry. I can just bar out crazy. I know Ark is very direct, and he's gonna come at me direct. So it's like I'm not even wasting no time with just generic bars that I think will hit because I'm trying to win points here. So I just thought, you know what, I gotta attack him. But I learned a lot doing it because I feel some of the stuff I said in the second, was some of my favorite writing yet. But,
Bro, when you said I find it suspect you were never a person of interest, I was just like, Scoop, man. I was like, there's got to be a point you stop coming up with good bars because it does get annoying after a while.
Honestly,
there's a level I'm like, all right, Scoop, just fuck off now. I'm sick of this shit now. Like, because just like cause it's so like interesting. It's like it's not even like you flip the wordplay. It's like the wordplay is just it is what it is. But like you're just saying it like, why has no one ever said that? Like I find it suspect you're not a person of interest. I was like,
he's got one bar that I've been telling him to say. I'll tell you it all after this that I've been telling him to say. He spat it to me about 7 years ago, but he still never put it in a battle. You know which one I mean,
and it would bang. It would bang for anybody.
Yeah, anybody.
I got a bar. I'm waiting to.
I might class Scoop one round just to hear it, bro. Like, I'll start doing the visual. What does it mean?
I'm so fit. What does it mean? Doesn't make any sense.
Oh man. But yeah, so like even you think he even took round 2 when yourself like you went in? Like.
Yeah, if there's only round I'll give him, it's definitely round 2.
Okay.
Because third obviously cut short, and he was doing good in the third. but he
Yeah,
cut it
his
short.
third, I think his third was good. I think like that round could have been debatable if he like closed it out like it was a solid round from both of them. Like,
I know my first probably had some of my favourite lines I've written, even though it wasn't like my favourite battle in a sense. Like when I said the whole, I'm still top drawer like cutlery.
Yeah.
Yeah, then I...
So
Crazy.
scoop is a luxury.
Yeah, I
like,
said that's, yeah, no, it's
silver
a silver
spoon.
spoon, because getting scoop is a luxury. I said,
yeah.
That was awesome.
and then, no,
Nuts,
thank you,
bro.
man.
Nuts.
You had a bar in the second that I got how do you have your catalogue but you've never done serial numbers?
Yeah, I was yeah,
Bro,
yeah,
you-
catalog, but never
It's
did-
what I mean. I'm getting sick, bro. I might have to stop watching the scoop battles, man, because it just annoys me, bro. I'm not leaving with the right feeling anymore, bro.
done.
Like,
There was a bar I said to Jem, and I know it was gonna bang because he liked it. It was when I said, so let's put this into context. A penthouse versus an estate. I can't have an
the
inferior
inferior complex. And I think as much as that's a generic bar, I think it applies to Art because you just told him you're gonna battle it where you're just gonna try and mug me off.
Yeah.
You're gonna try and call me a cunt. You're gonna try and do this. So it's generic, but it actually really suits saying it to Ark because it's
Yeah.
like you're not gonna make me feel like I've got an inferior complex,
Yeah.
even though I know this whole battle. You're just gonna
Talking
basically
down to me.
talking
yeah.
down to me more than you are.
yeah.
I personally feel like he tries to talk down to battle rappers more than the average person in a battle. I'm not a fan of it. It is what it is. Some people fucking love it. I think some of your shit, your second round especially, when you were saying like you only want to battle me because you want to say some nasty shit. He's already admitted it himself, so it makes him look, you know what I mean. But he did, as I said, his very quotable line was a lot of tube stuff ending on like you'll be eating through them. Super simple, not overcomplicated. Anybody in the room can get it. Same shit I said 50,000 times. Like that one definitely. Would still probably say you took that round though because you just counteracted what he said by being like you just want to battle me. But here's my thing though, right? I feel like he didn't go in on you as much as I thought he was going
No,
to.
he
Not at all.
I'm gonna be
Not
honest,
at all.
because we were all in agreement in separate conversations pre-battle.
Me and
you know.
Scoop was.
I was about to say you and Jem, and then me with other people being like that. Ark only wants to battle Scoop just to be an absolute twat, right? Basically, and then you did call him out on it, but I kind of feel like he went light.
No, he went like.
He went light, bro.
Sean Cray said it to me. Sean Cray.
Like I was when he finished, I was like, nah, there's got to be. I'm watching it
Well,
early
not
today, like,
necessarily
but-
light. He just didn't go like dark.
He didn't go dark.
Dark.
Yeah,
He didn't.
go
Yeah.
dark.
Okay, he
He
didn't
got
go.
dark,
I was
yeah.
waiting for the
I thought he was
moment
gonna
where
cover
he
some dark
went
shit.
way because
was
that's
waiting
what
for
he
it.
does in battles, and
Yeah.
I was like, you really are not seeming to be for some reason jumping at this opportunity. So I was very surprised by that.
Yeah.
Maybe I don't feel like that shit's like I say, I don't think doing the super personal or super dark shit always works. Or maybe that's just his new thing because I don't think he did it really with Koji either.
No,
Or
He
Mark.
doesn't really be
I
on hand like
don't
that
think
no
he's
more.
done it
I feel
since
like
he's
I
come
feel like
back.
he's
I
just
don't
been
think
barring,
he's-
innit? So maybe
Yeah.
because I think I said it to Krill. Like I told you, I said it to Krill. Yeah. I was like, yo. I was like, between me and you, and I wouldn't have told Scoop. I was like, what's Art gonna say? I was like, what's his one for this? And even Krill was like, nah. I was like, all right, cool.
Like
he's
he,
just rapping, like-
honestly, bro, like I was watching it and I was
I think
waiting for the dark shit. I
I
was
think
really
people know
waiting.
it's a
for
better
it.
approach.
yeah.
Like just rap.
That's why I wrote the way I wrote.
Mm.
Because I was like, yeah, I need to. I wrote so defensively in that battle.
Yeah, you didn't feel like you were having the same vibe you're usually catching. I'm going to be honest. Like the empty venue because it just had to be super early. Obviously later on in the day, like for your battle, the crowd was incredible. Even by your time,
Yeah,
by
yeah.
Reverse Crow, it was amazing. But the empty venue didn't help, and it didn't feel like you looked happy to be up. I've never seen you know what Marlo said to Danny Chat. Like, I've never seen you rap and look like you enjoy it. You still look like you were enjoying it. Like you didn't look like you were having a shit time, but you didn't have that energy.
wasn't the same
Whereas
energy.
Frank, I was there behind you versus Frankie.
Yeah.
You were, like you said, you were feeding off the
Feeding off the
crowd.
crowd,
and
man, yeah.
You weren't feeding off anything there,
Yeah,
bro.
man.
You were just fucking.
Yeah.
Let me get through my verses, man.
But
Do you know
let's
what I
be
mean?
clear.
Which is a bit depressing to see, and then he's fucking up as well. I was like, this ain't an amazing battle. It could have been.
But let's be
Do you know
clear.
what I'm saying?
He showed
Like,
up on a crutch as well.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, I was
I'm
knackered that
sure
day.
that's not.
I was
Yeah, I'm sure that.
tired, bro.
Like, how
I
did that
was-
affect your performance? Like,
Bro,
your
I
foot was
beyond,
bust.
I was beyond tired, bro.
Yeah,
Like, I
like,
showed up to the venue off, but then I'm not gonna lie,
Because
like,
you weren't moving in the ring. You was dead in one place.
One
weren't you?
place,
You didn't
yeah.
move once, did you?
mind you, I don't move much anyway. But but it's just one of those ones where I looked at the room and I just thought, yeah, I'm just gonna rap.
Just get it done,
Let's
man.
just get it over and done with.
But
But there's
then,
no one there.
Next few coming up.
Yeah.
Next few coming up, has it been like a teaser? Because you got someone PB, you got someone don't flop, you got this. It's like, what is that battle you've just done to you? Like, is it just like it's literally ticking a box you signed up to tick, or is it like has it given you some inspiration going
I'll
forward?
tell you what, it's opened. It's that taking that kind of battle. I was happy to take because I like taking different kinds of opponents. So it's like I know I was preparing to battle someone who was gonna go in on me in it, and I was like, let me see how I can write to counteract that. Let's just see, because everyone knows I come up with punches in it, but that doesn't necessarily win you a battle. Do you know what I'm saying? The people forget the aspect.
It's
of actually
in
winning.
Jem's words, it's button bashing.
Yeah, it's like you need to like write for your opponent and diffuse them. So writing for Arc taught me that I can do it.
Yeah.
That's
Taught
what's
me
up,
that.
man. It's
Yeah.
good to hear you say that.
Yeah, writing for Arc taught me that I can do it. I took it for the challenge. Do you know what I'm saying? I wanted to battle Quill.
Well, because we're not talking about the reason the person of interest bar banged. We're not talking about it's because you were doing personal bars about him getting low views, which I don't think anyone's ever said to him.
Yeah.
Like, which is a very fair angle for him. Like, you're a vet, but a vet with what level of
what
interest?
level,
Like a
yeah.
medium level of interest. So it's like we need to focus on that. It's like, yeah, you clearly were like, let me see if I can talk about my man, not just like kind of, no offense, but with Frankie, you were like, let me just spit the coolest shit in the world because I didn't give a fuck. I know it's going off. Like, you knew when has Frankie Fraser ever been dark ever? Like, do you know what I mean? So
Dark
it's like,
Frank.
Dark Frank never happened, bro. So.
That battle with Frank, I just said, I'm barring out. I don't care. I'm gonna.
And that's what you got.
crazy,
The thing is,
Definitely battle of the year.
you got to
contender
write to the
last
narrative
year.
of the battle. If your battle narrative is we're two writers, you both right. You don't try to
Like,
go
if
against the
you'd come
narrative
at
to be
Frank,
edgy or some
if
shit.
you'd have come at
some
Frankie
weird
trying to
shit.
be edgy,
Yeah.
it
The
would have.
angles would have ruined the battle.
No, you both approached that perfectly.
Yeah.
That
So
was
yeah,
my
so
feedback
with
anyway.
this, so moving forward, are you saying that it's taught you that, like, in theory, whoever you get put against, you now know I might actually be able to
I know
have
that.
more feathers in my hat. You know what I mean? Like,
I'll tell you what it is, Arc doesn't have a million angles. I'll tell you what it is for me. I never want to do angles that have been done, first and foremost. So like when I found that whole that angle about the views or whatever, I said no one's done this. Yeah, I said nobody's done this. This is mine, and this is mine to either execute well or mine to fuck up. Yeah, so I thought, alright, cool. But I know that I think Tony D taught me this very early on. He was like, bro, you punch sick, but he said, if I give you the information, you should be able to make punchlines out of it. He said, if you can make a random punch out of anything and it make it sound sick, imagine if I tell you what to write about. He said you should be able to pick punches out of everything. So I thought, you know what? I've gotten to that level now where Arc was my 12th battle. I tell people, I'm no qualms in saying I'm still learning too, bro. Regardless of how people look at me, I'm still learning too. I'm still learning what works and what don't. I'm not like 100 battles in, so it's like I look at it like
it feels like you are.
Yeah, a lot of
But
people
you're
look
not.
at me like I'm
You're actually not.
When I
I
said-
definitely was like, wait, what, 12? Like,
Yeah.
what the fuck?
People look at me like when I told Visual I only had 12 battles, he was like, "You're a cunt." That's what you said to me. I said,
I think Koji was my 17th.
"Yeah, I've already done 12." So it's like I've had high caliber opponents, and what that's taught me is to step up.
Definitely.
Do you know what I mean? It was step up, but it's also been a learning on the job. I mean, if I battled DNA now as opposed to then, it'll be a lot better.
Right.
Be a lot better.
So that's kind of what I'm saying. That it's like you ended the year with Frankie, which was like, oh shit, Scoop's back and he's leveled up, and then now you've had this one, which is not like your favorite battle, but you've learned now. Oh, actually, I can be personal as well.
I can be
So
personal
now
too,
it's
yeah.
like by the end of the year, this year,
Yeah.
we might be seeing a Super Saiyan.
Yeah, like whoever, I can't say who I've got next, but that's bad for them, bro.
I'm not gonna lie though, that's a nice little lineup. You had what, a classic with Frankie, you know, a judge win over
Arc,
Arc.
yeah.
It's a nice little
It's a
run.
good run.
Trust me.
Yeah, when I think Raptor called me out online and was like, "What was your thing?" I said, I said to him the other day, I said,
Raptor, man, nah, man, he was meant to be.
me and him were supposed to get it in when
the
he was on
Sharks,
Sharks,
yeah.
innit?
That's what
I
we
was
was
trying to
line
line that up. I was like, yo,
That would have been that would have got spicy. Let's say.
Yeah, I said, let's line it up. But I said, I looked at the back of my resume, like, my resume, I was like, raw, Wilsey, Tox, DNA, Dialect, Bobby Rex, Frankie, Arc, like, I've got some decent names on my resume, man. So, but it's all been a learning curve. I can't lie, it's all been a learning curve. When I first came in, I was just punching randomly, just to try, I just wanted to say what sounded cool. Yeah.
You still got that streak in you, know. You still got that streak in you 100%, bro. Like, no doubt.
now.
Yeah.
But then it was like I've learned how to incorporate. Like when I battled Frankie and I said the whole thing about in my third round when I broke down what I've been doing outside of battle rap, I was like, you know what? I need to talk about myself. I can't just be bar in a way. Actually make a point now. You can't just do 3 rounds of the same shit. I don't want to do that because it does get generic. Because people already were getting onto me for how my cadence was. So it was like, if you have a cadence and you're always rapping the same shit, then it's gonna get worse. But,
That's a good thing to discuss actually. Yeah. You've definitely noticed like that you need to change your cadence.
Yeah.
That's so true.
Yeah.
Like because you did, that is one point where you could be marked down in the past.
Of course.
That you couldn't differentiate the delivery. Whereas now you're trying different things.
Trying
You still got your
different
own thing which
Yeah.
people fucking fuck with and love.
Yeah.
But like do you know what I mean? Not every single bar has got that inverted commas scoop flow. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you're trying bits here and there that are a bit different, you know what I mean?
Yeah, like I enjoyed my third for Ark. I actually enjoyed the shit I wrote in my third. Because coming out with a third one was long.
Well, the third was probably actually the most quoted bar.
Which one?
Which is not even. Which was an old scoop punchline and not a new style scoop punchline. Which was
the beef on your hands like leather gloves. Oh yeah. I remember that.
So what are we saying? Starting with Reavers, yeah. What are we saying? Because this has been a conversation online, yeah. Does beef on your hands like leather gloves make sense,
All right.
or is it a sliding scale?
Personally,
You don't like.
Yeah,
No,
he said this starts with personally.
dude, I was literally gonna say. I was literally gonna
It's
say.
about to come. We're gonna. All right, come.
I was literally gonna say.
Did you say you have beef on your hands? Like I'm gonna go get the beef handies.
No, man.
Right, come. Let's go.
I was literally gonna say.
right.
Personally, I like it.
Right.
Because it's not an example of what we were talking
Okay.
about earlier. I think it works and it puts a picture in your head
It
and
does.
it was sick
It does.
for what it was, you know.
It does. But I've seen certain people are like not too
But then,
sure about it.
but those certain people, I laugh at them. 'Cause they never, like, I can't lie to you. Like a lot of the time when I'm taking criticism, I can take anything on that pause on the chin. Yeah, pause. Yeah, man, pause that before. Yeah, I'll put listen. No one's getting on to me. Yeah.
What? Pause that as well.
I'm so funny. Yeah. I said, because I'm not.
That's the way he looked
Yeah.
up as well. He looked up
Yeah.
and said, I'll take it all on the chin.
And no one's getting onto.
I don't mind it, but it's like when there's people in the room who I considered writers that liked it,
Yeah, oh,
and then
yeah.
the people who are bad mouthing it, I think you suck.
Right,
So it's
right,
like,
right.
I don't care if you
You
don't
don't
like it,
care.
you're trash.
Yeah.
I'm not even trying to be horrible, so it's like, all right, cool. You know what I mean? I like the idea because it was one of those bars that's been in front of everyone's face. And I guarantee you certain people that said it, you would have said it was the greatest thing since sliced bread.
I personally feel like you might have wasted it on this battle, I'm going to be honest. But maybe you put it in before knowing it was going to be a 1 p.m. thing, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I did. I did.
Yeah.
I did.
Like, because it's a sick fucking bar, but like,
Yeah.
unfortunately, the crowd liked it. But again, if that was a 400-person crowd, it would have.
It would have went off.
Do you know what I'm saying?
It would have went off.
But yeah. So yeah, what do you think? Beef on your hands like leather gloves, banger or clanger?
I love it.
That's the new segment for the podcast.
Well,
Banger or clanger, yeah.
Done.
No,
I like that.
I fuck with it, but I don't really overjudge bars like that because I think you gotta give creativity its space to be creative. One of my favorite bars against Bobby, if you really want to be technical, I shouldn't have said or by any of these. My favorite bar is you'll feel the wind rush by you, but the next one I send you back where you came from. But for what you'll feel the wind rush, like I could make it be extra. Like why would you feel the wind rush by you? But, like,
Yeah.
People can
That's
always
crazy.
critique anything, man. That's the
That's
thing.
it.
yeah,
No.
so-
I think the best bar is just like put a picture in your head
Yeah,
and
yeah,
both
yeah,
of those
yeah.
bars. Like,
And
Yeah.
me,
Like that.
it's because you told the bar to Sean, who told the bar to me previously, and we both agreed. We were like, that is a bar that is impossible not to like. We were like, certain people are gonna nitpick it and say it doesn't make sense because beef and leather is not exactly the same thing. Even it's a cow, obviously, but it's, do you know what I mean? But I knew that one line before the battle, and I was just like, I was like, I hope you're sending me that line as in like, this is a great line, because I was like, I fucking loved that line. And Sean Gray was like, yeah, you literally just told me it. So I was like, yeah. But I did genuinely know, I was like, some people are going to find an umbrage. Because we've talked about it for over 4 hours today, like there is a thin line, and it's like, I can see why that bar, but you're not dumb. When you write that, you know, some very loyal heads are gonna be like, his beef and they're gonna say anything. But
that's why
again, in the room, who's not gonna react to that? Who's not gonna react to
Dude,
beef on their
literally.
hands like leather gloves? Like fucking no one, man. So it's like-
And the people that don't like it, I don't really care for you. I can't lie to you, I don't care for you.
But that's how it should be.
I
That's how it should
respect
be.
that.
Yeah, I don't. If you don't, when you, listen, everything's subject to what opinion, innit? So it is what it is. there was one bar I did say that third, yeah, and Bracey reacted, and then Georgie reacted.
Right.
It was like, come on, where I don't like doing name flips like that. I don't like it. So I did a name,
really well.
Yeah, I did a name flip without using his name, and I said, the fact that you can't weather the storm shows that you don't live up to your name. And then I was like, okay, but writing for this battle was just.
I had something for Kojay. I remember I was trying to work it out with you. I was like, because I think Kojay is a hard name to flip. Before I had the scheme, I had no name flips in it. But I was like, someone's like, the gas killing 2. I was like, well, send those 2 after Ko. And I'm like, this is just nerdy.
Yeah.
CO2. I was like, yeah, this is the part about it. I was like, you could say it, but I'm gonna leave it.
Yeah,
If I got to think
Yeah,
about it
yeah.
too much, I realise if I can't
That's-
come up with a bar for it quick enough, I feel like you're thinking too much and it's probably corny.
But you know what it
Sure.
is as well? Like, you know what we were saying about how, like, I think it was off camera when we were talking about how it's like certain things people will say, they'll compare, they'll make a room shaker punchline out of something that's not a hard thing. Like, I think Real Deal must have said it in a battle years ago. He was dissing somebody being like, you make punchlines out of things that aren't hard. Like, you need to. But I think with leather gloves, so what I'm saying is it works because leather gloves, they kind of give you that. You feel me? It's like if you'd have come up with a punchline that was like something like woolly mittens. It's like, I get what you're saying, but they're not like
doesn't
a.
come
Do
up
you know what I'm
with,
saying?
bro,
You
yeah.
feel what I mean? It's like, but it's like leather gloves is like, I'm not saying they're inherently
Woolly
gangster,
mittens.
but there's like a little bit of a like.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're a bit slick. You know what I mean? Leather gloves. So it's like, and that is again, and that is
Well, man wear
really.
gloves for stuff, so yeah.
But
they work
that's what I'm
in
saying. Is
films,
like,
man wear gloves,
that
so-
is breaking down the bar, you know, almost too much. But I do genuinely believe that, like, you can come up with some incredible wordplay. Like, I watched a URL battle the other day, and someone said, da 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 da, like, that's so Raven. Everyone went berserk, bro. They went berserk, bro, over a bar about that's so Raven. And I was like, I get the concept, but this is a kids' TV show.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like, you know,
Dude,
it's
the
not-
Pokemon bar the other day that went off. Man said something twisting your stomach like Polywell. And Donny, and I swear on my life, it was bruv.
I don't even know what that means. I would
Yeah, I
react.
swear to
Like
it was
Polywell.
it's a Pokemon.
Polly,
Yeah.
this is what I'm
It was
saying.
swelling in the stomach, yeah?
This is what I'm saying.
And Danny
you
Myers,
can't do bars on everything. What is Polywell? I'm gonna Google that straight away.
Hey,
after.
don't worry, we all made our mistakes. I did a whole Marvel battle once, but never again, you know what I'm saying? We all have our moments, you get done, you get... Nah.
But nah, you did your thing. It was one of them battles you worked with what you had, man. Like,
Of course,
the crowd
yeah.
wasn't incredible. You didn't really want the opponent, but you worked with what you
And
had.
Is there anyone you're gunning for? You're quite humble, you don't gun for nobody.
Yeah, because
You
even
should
when
suck their mum.
Huh?
You should suck their mum.
Do you know why?
Other than
I've
Quill.
learned something. It's weird. Ox said to me, "Everyone likes you," blah blah blah, and I said, "It's not that." First off, battle rap is never that serious to me, innit? In the sense where I need to be going at people. Like, some of you man literally sit online and argue with each other, and I think, rah, you really don't do anything else with your lives. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. It kind of cringes me out sometimes. Like, I literally sit there like, rah, 9 a.m. in the morning, and you man are talking about rounds. You man,
You're in a space. Why are you in a space, bro?
like, and this is why I'm kind of glad that outside of battle rap, I started doing other things as well, because I really had other things to focus on. And I was like, you know what? Like, I could tell when I did the face off of Ark, that he wanted to, like, you know what I mean? I could tell, and he even said it. And I was like, bro, I'm a firm believer that your end product must be good. It doesn't matter everything else leading up to it. So let's just say, like boxing, for example, you have all these face off, blah, blah, blah. If you get knocked out in the first round, you look like a dickhead. You were chatting shit for 12 weeks to get punched up in one round. You just exercised for 12 weeks. You're doing bare pull-ups, bare running to get punched up in one round. That's how I look at, for example, before I battled Bobby, he sent 3 diss tracks, but he lost the battle. I focus on the end product, innit? Like, I don't care about all the other shit. I don't. I probably
I'd feel weirded out if I saw you online doing that.
Yeah.
I'd be like, what are you doing?
And I would
bruv?
expect-
Like, don't do that.
And I'm not gonna lie, and I would expect her to call me or say, "Yo, don't do that."
Yeah.
Don't do
If
that. I
I
don't
saw
like-
you do like
yeah.
3 or 4, I'd be like, all right, he's gone too far now.
Yeah,
Stop,
don't do
bro,
that.
Stop.
Because
stop,
it's,
stop.
do you know another thing? I think my uncle taught me this from very young. He said, "Don't make people draw you out of your character." He said, "Don't do it." He said, "Your biggest strength is your composure sometimes." And I've always learned that, bruv. I've always learned. I don't really let people get under my skin too much.
So ain't no one you on about.
I was thinking that was the question.
What UK?
That's
Yeah,
pointing as I was.
I'm here for
I'm here for that.
What
Cool.
is it? UK, yeah. Quill,
Yeah.
I gotta see me at some point in life. he's got to see me at some point in life.
Quill would take you very seriously.
course he would.
Quill's got mad love for you. As
I know,
battle
that's the
rapper,
thing. And he
Quill's
knows.
got mad love for you as a battle rapper, bro.
I know, and I got big love for Quill as well. That's why I said to Quill, like, we got to see each other at some point. And I know he will take it. But I've never had an opponent that's laid down and just died. I've had the best version of Dialect, Frankie. Like,
There's something about you, bruv. People are like, I'm not letting this punchline geezer fucking fuck me up. Like,
know what I'm saying?
they refuse it because they know you're gonna have something that's gonna pop the crowd.
Yeah.
They know it. Every
so
opponent
true.
you take, it's the fact. Like, every opponent you take knows, Scoop's gonna have something that's gonna make the crowd love him. So they're like, they come at their best, bro. Who's come at you half-hearted? No one, bro.
like I wanna, and the reason why I say this shit is because I look at it like I would battle someone like Quill because not only do I fuck with Quill's style, but I can really bar out with Quill.
I'd like to see
I
that,
could
bro.
really like you. There's one of those battles you could really break down bar for bar if we went on it. As mad as it may sound, someone said, "Would you battle Tony D?" I said, "No." Under no fucking circumstances. Under no. I'm not going to be the dickhead that Tony cares about. Yeah, like I'm not about to be the guy he cares to battle. Yeah, because it's long. I told
it
people
would get very long.
It's
very
long, bro.
Yeah.
Like I remember the first time watching him and Yunnan, and me just being in awe of how a man said your teeth spell out friend zone, and I said, yeah, that can't be me at any point in this life.
Can't be you.
So do you know who I'm gonna battle though? I am gonna battle, and we agreed, even though we're gang, it's Yunnan.
Yeah, that should happen. That'd be a
Wasn't
good
that
one.
confirmed?
That was
sometime?
confirmed for
Yeah.
next
thought it
in
was
line 2.
Next in line
Yeah,
2.
that's it.
Jesus.
Yeah, so I said Yunnan, like me and Yunnan both agreed we will do that. Like we will run that battle. Like
And
That'd be nuts.
speaking about upcoming battles, we can't say who, but
yeah.
in a few sentences, what are you saying on your next Don't Flop battle? There's no better way to end it than this.
I'm gonna go visit a priest. I'm gonna go visit a priest and say goodbye to my loved ones because I might not be coming back. Bro. Like I might not come back in the same way I walked in, bro. I can't.
Anybody's reaction when I've told them has been the same. Like, yo, they better, yo, bro. Yo.
Yeah, I'm telling you, that's all it has been. It's like,
I bet everybody
Yeah,
you've told. I'm sorry to be doing this, people, but it's coming out later this year. It's too early. It's too early. I'm really sorry to be that, like, oh, I know something you don't know, but it's too early. But just keep it locked. That's all I'm saying.
Potential.
It's potential.
one of the funniest.
Jem said it, not me. Potential battle.
One of the funniest reactions I ever got, was, why would you do this to yourself? Like, that was one of the funniest reactions I ever got. Like, why would you do
But
this?
from what I've heard,
Yeah.
if you lot,
Oh no, wait, listen. Do you know what I love about it? We're an unknown entity.
so if you both do your thing,
it's gonna be mad.
I feel like it'd be a classic.
It's gonna be absolutely mad, bro. And the thing about it is, the one good thing about the
I can't wait
preparation-
to have you back on the channel. I told you this when I come to see you and Frankie. After the battle, I said to you, bro, you know you're back on Don't Flop soon. And this is why I give you your respect, bro. There weren't even any flinch. You went, hit me up. There was not like you said, you don't take this shit too seriously,
I don't
but
take
there
it
was
seriously.
no bullshit. I said, I'm hitting you up and we're making something happen. And you were like, yeah, I'm ready.
Nobody.
And what we've made happen.
Exactly, it's mad. It's wild. It's wild. Like nobody. I've always said nobody can involve me. Nobody can involve me in their politics.
No.
Yeah. And a man can't tell me not to like her because has always been good to me. So you can't tell me shit. If you want that, I'll tell you to suck out because I don't really give a shit. Like you whatever you want. I always say, how you treat me is how you treat me. You can't tell me how to feel about Reverse. Reverse has never done anything to me. So you can't tell, don't like no, I don't care about you man's politics. That's you man's beef. And then but I'm not gonna lie, when you did tell, like, I saw the inbox, I was like, why would I do this?
Hey, because
Why would I do this?
we're trying to only do legendary shit at Don't Flop, bro.
Yeah, that is, yeah.
No, I think it'll be a classic.
So what? Without baiting up, what do you think? What do you think?
Man.
I told you, see? I told you.
Every time.
It's just a load
Every
of
time.
a load of terms of endearment. That's all
Yeah,
it
every
is.
time.
Everyone I've told is just like, bro,
Beanie's
man,
reaction.
yo, G, fam,
Yeah.
for real.
Beanie's reaction.
so
Funny.
your comment is man.
Fuck off.
Yeah.
I think that
full
says
stop.
it.
Yeah.
It's gonna be legendary. All right, man. All right, this is Don't Flop Podcast, episode number 11. Massive love to my guys, Reverse, Scoop, Jem. I am. Make sure you follow us on @Don't Flop, at Gemini London, at Big Scoop.
Yep.
Fucking hell,
Big
it's
Ski
all
Button
going to be on the
as well.
screen. At Elliot Reverse and all that shit, man. All right, we're out of here. Episode 12 is coming in May. I can't wait for that shit, man. Peace out.
Sensational.
Sheesh.